We fade in on a cold, windswept island shore. Frost clings to the grassy plain, bathing the scene in a crystalline white as the camera sweeps up to a sprawling gray-stone fortification on the cliffs above the ocean. Huge ivory towers reach up to the heavens, adorned with gleaming crystal lights and flying great blue banners with a crowned staff upon them, the symbol of Taeleer, the elven god of magic. We then see a column of silver-clad soldiers marching out through the gates in lockstep, their procession bristling with spears and bows and tower shields. But we carry on past this war band of martial elves and up to the battlements overlooking the gates. A lone elven man, dressed in a heavy red cloak, stands atop them. We see his hood is down, letting a full head of golden hair whip wildly in the wind, and bloodshot, tired eyes watch the soldiers march off. "Another sleepless night, old man," a voice calls from one of the towers, descending onto the battlements. The camera cuts to a young human man striding down the steps, crimson-haired in shining red-gold armor and carrying a tremendous two-handed sword in its sheath held at his side. "You worry too much. This whole business with Lord Autumnstar will be over by winter's end, and we can all go back to our southern homes, eh?" The elven man sighs and says, "I have a fear, dear boy. I can't place it, but something about this man's betrayal has me waking in a cold sweat every night. I feel a doom upon the air." The red-haired man laughs, slapping the robed elf on the back. "That you do. His. I hear the Dragon King himself will be taking to the field with us this evening. It'll be a mighty show of force. An alliance of men, elves, fae, and dragons. No mere blackguard can withstand our righteous might, no matter how many petty demons march under his banner." "I hope you're right, Lord Harper, for all our sakes," the elf sighs. "And if not, then my work is just beginning." The armored human walks past with a disappointed shake of his head. "Stay here and sulk in your workshop, then. But there's a host of beasts on this island hungry for a taste of my magic blade. God's luck be with you, Salarin. We'll have plenty to spare." The camera pans back from the castle walls, showing a legion of soldiers amassing in its shadows. The last thing we see is a tremendous, red-scaled shape wing out of the clouds, descending upon the host with an earth-shaking roar. As the screen goes black, we get a subtitle. "Several centuries later." And we open upon our intrepid heroes, standing at a hilltop, overlooking this huge fortification on the coast. Its towers have crumbled in several places, and the banners and lights are long gone. Yet it remains a vast and imposing bit of work indeed. You are perhaps a day's journey from its gates, and the weather is clear yet cold, and getting colder. Perhaps a storm is moving in. What is your plan, my heroes?
Complain about the cold and the storm coming, and hoping that it's not going to be all thundery and lightningy. What's the actual terrain like?
So most of the island is flat, open ground with thick grass and very little in the way of trees or brush. You are on a particularly large rocky hill, one among many in the area, looking over this fort down between them.
Okay. Uh, I mean, I don't know that there's much that we can do to prepare. I can make sure that all my gear is together and in one piece, and my spells are all prepared.
Apparently, he should be underneath the underneath the ruins, right?
That is what Shevin, the apparently vampire you met in Vattenhild, said.
I mean, she was a dick, but she's pretty cute.
Well, we're not on the world map, so
I'm worried about this.
Well, I mean, I am too, but at the same time, there's really nothing for it but to just keep on going and try not to totally fuck this up.
We're still on the character token layer, by the way.
You shouldn't be.
No, we're on the map now.
We are, yeah. We
Just
were on
lost.
the landing page still.
Well, she said that there'd be more people. Like we weren't the only ones invited. So, is there any sign of these people?
At the moment, no. The ruin looks thoroughly abandoned, though in surprisingly good shape for its age.
Maybe we're early.
Well, the upper portion's probably gonna be pretty abandoned, and then you know how like underground dealy, like a sweet, sweet dungeon ruins or something like that, you know. Or maybe it'll be like we have his safety within his domain, but technically the castle above is not his. So, you know, dangerous shit can still happen to us without, you know, Winter's whole you're safe while you're here, at least as long as you don't fuck shit up deal is a lie.
okay, so we can get there in like one go.
Yeah, it'll be late evening when you arrive at the gates.
It'll be. We have promise of safe passage.
That's the expectation, at least.
But times like this, the academy, they always used to say, if you're preparing for something, always try to think of what the worst possible thing could be, and then prepare for that. So, what's the worst possible thing that could happen when we go in there and meet with them?
That we are immediately all imprisoned and or slain or turned into undead.
I'm afraid that you'll be killed.
Well, okay. So there's that. But I mean, a lot of people have tried to kill
Not
us.
you.
And wait, then who? I thought we were talking about everybody.
Kind of like a prime target.
I think you're the one that's most likely to be killed if there is going to be a betrayal of trust.
Well,
I don't know
then
the
we should
details
probably
of it, but I'm pretty sure he really fucking hates my mom.
probably take some measures to make sure that Kreshia will be okay, right?
He does.
I've got as many measures as I can have to hand, sadly. Not much else I can do. Yeah, I'm like looking over my spells. I'm about as prepared as it gets. I've got quick exits. I've got defensive maneuvers. Got counter spells. I'm about as ready as it gets for this whole moment. But it's, you know what? It'll be okay.
There was that vampire in the temple to Kanara. We probably should have asked her what kind of weaknesses she had, so we could potentially marshal them against Winter here. Seems like she might have been keen to actually help us. I don't think the vampire at the bar would be quite so nice.
She did mention a few things.
Well, I always hear weird stories about things vampires can or can't do, so maybe it would be good to go over what they, what gets under their skin, what gets in their craw. So, Garlic, how about that?
Was garlic bullshit or not? I feel like that is vague knowledge we might have.
Well, let's find out here.
I don't remember.
I know holy symbols aren't their jam, or sunlight.
I have a feeling the garlic wasn't actually important.
Does anyone have a sun blade? I've recently heard of these amazing blades, and I want one real badly.
Those are powerful magic items.
Alright. The vampires in the temple did not mention garlic. Specifically, no.
Okay, so we'll call that a maybe. They are weak to sunlight, I assume, yeah?
She certainly was.
Okay, so that's something we got going for us. In case of emergency, we just run outside.
That'll probably might be quite the run.
Well, hope you guys have been doing your cardio for to keep up those kind of things.
I mean,
What about silver? Is that just for werewolves?
I mean, the dead were affected by silver more primarily than not, so it's not a terrible thing to keep out of consideration. Holy water as well. You know, typical undead things that undead don't like. I'm gonna assume vampires are pretty much in the same area. But also Lord Winter's kind of a different level. So, I don't know. Generally, if the option is between surrender or fight, I do think we want to go with surrender because we'll all just die horribly.
Yes, fighting would be quite possibly the worst thing we could do.
Well, I thought that was the whole reason why we came out here, to fight against the big evil guy.
Well, to hopefully stop the big evil guy from being a fight in the first place is the preference. Like, stopping a fight from happening.
Oh, so you think he's going to be like that vampire at the temple, where he super regrets everything he did?
Not quite to as promising a degree. I imagine he's had a lot longer to internalize that whole deal. Plus, he's the one who made her into a vampire in the first place. So no, I mean, I'm qualified in feeling that he's probably a massive asshole, but at the same time, he is still an intelligent thinking being, and those can be spoken to and talked to, and reasoned with or dealt with. And there might be something that we can do to stop, you know, the end times from coming instead. Or indeed, there might be other end times coming, and we're going to find out all about them.
We have to find out information.
Yep.
Why this is happening in the first place.
Yeah, why
That's
now for his
thing.
drastic turnaround of all this shit?
He was a big villain back in the day, and he was defeated by, your parents, right?
No.
No, he was unified and joined them temporarily in order to fight the bigger threat, which might frankly be happening again. However, I believe he was kind of betrayed at some point during that process and has kind of a fucking grudge. So that's going to be, like, primarily something to deal with. Sadly, don't know the details. Never explained to me. At least I don't believe her mother ever told her that
Going to meet with a vampire lord who's been alive for a super long time and wiped all humans off the face of the earth and most elves. And he specifically invited us. And we don't know all of his strengths or weaknesses. And he might be a good guy, or at the very least...
I wouldn't say good guy, or at the very least not the fucking doom of our kind, inevitably. He could just be convinced to let bygones be
But we do know that he has some people that are important to us, like one of your parents, or one of your friend's parents. Who was that?
My mother.
Yeah.
Your mother, yeah. Can you think of a good reason why she'd be here other than being kidnapped?
Because she came here to deal with him the first time that shit got kind of real.
I do not know the details of her mission or why she found her way here. That's why one of the reasons why I'm here is to talk to her, because she's here still.
And didn't he say, or one of his minions, right, said specifically that she was here? Is that
Yes.
for a reason, or to taunt us, or?
No, I know she's here. They said that she was here, but I also received a vision when I spoke to Taeleer about this. She showed a vision of my mother here.
Okay. Kinara also showed a buttload of giant black ships sailing off from here, and I don't see any big black ships. So
those are to the north.
I mean, does this guy work with the orcs or what?
I remember being told once that he did get some of them to attack a place once before as a distraction. He has worked with them in the past. Or I suppose more like they have worked for him.
And Zira's right. He did kind of. There were indeed evil orcs left to fucking fight us in that temple.
Right.
Well, to be fair, they've been there for a really long time, so he definitely used them in the past. I don't know if those ones were there for us, but he certainly fucking left some orcs behind.
I don't think those were here for specifically us. I think they were here for anybody to come down there to try and reclaim the temple.
So when that lady said that he had company coming, could she be referred to all these orcs?
I don't know. Maybe.
Do you know of any other allies or companions he might have had?
Just his wife and his children.
How's she doing?
Alive.
Kreshia gets a weird booker nosebleed. Succubus hot tub sex. Nothing.
His wife is at least as dangerous as he is. Quite possibly more.
And is she the kind of person that could be
she's like
reasoned with?
legit a succubus. Maybe. I don't like to sort of rule demons out immediately. Seems like not a cool move, since most of them just seem to go insane when they come into our land.
I mean, my mother is her daughter, so it's kind of a...
Oh yeah, that was the thing that that person told us, huh?
Yeah. I'm still not entirely certain how my family line all runs out now. But then again, I never knew my father's side of the family, so I suppose it could come from there.
Do you know your father?
Nope.
So Lord Winter could be your father, theoretically.
No. No. That's would most certainly be impossible.
Oh, okay. Good.
At least I'm fairly certain. Considering what I am, I'm a satyr.
Okay. I don't really know how, that stuff works, so I'll take your word for it.
Well, he is her grandfather, so
yes.
He can't be her father.
Sierra snickers that he could be.
I don't even know how I would handle that. I don't even...
With a long cry of, no, that's not possible!
Just looked over at Sarah, slowly turning her head, raising an eyebrow.
I can't... I mean, surely my mother would have told me something like that. That's pretty big. That's kind of huge.
I don't know, that sort of sounds like family secrets side of the thing, but maybe. No, it's probably fine. You're probably not an incest butt baby, and I'll pinch my daughter's ear.
Okay, well, sorry I brought that up. I didn't realize it was a, one of those kind of things. Okay, so what reason would Winter have for inviting us here if he was planning on killing us?
That's the thing. I don't feel like the plan is technically to kill us, which is why we're just gonna have to do a lot of figuring this the fuck out as we go.
Can we think of any good reason why he would invite us here?
Why he would? Because
Yeah.
he needs us for something. But he needs us for the kind of thing that if he just took us by force, he probably wouldn't get. Like help.
Is there something that you guys could do that your parents couldn't?
That our parents couldn't?
I can't even imagine what I could possibly accomplish. That
We're fucking young and badass, and they're all old and stupid.
Just say probably outlive her.
It's just, if he's already got your mother for one reason or another, the only reason I could see for him inviting you is she's not doing what he wants, and he needs you as leverage.
Well, if he needed it for leverage, then he could probably do it by force. Like, he's a big, strong man, and he has a demon army. Either asking us is just because the easiest ploy because he's fucking lazy, or like he legitimately needs us to be like not under umbrage when we turn up, otherwise we don't assist. And like, let's face it, we're the fucking new guard. We're the new heroes. They had their turn.
We don't know the
That's
specifics of any
a
of
very
this.
mean. That's a very mean way of saying out with the old, in with the new.
No, it's not mean. I think as well, they fucking earned their, their time to chill out. They kind of saved the world from a super tragedy. Let someone else save the world from a super tragedy now.
Ah, okay. Well,
there,
I don't know.
we have something that's going. If there's more that is going on in this world that we understand, that's for sure. Because there's still loose ends on events and things that we can't explain.
Yeah.
Maybe that is tied together and he knows that we know something that we don't.
Yeah, I mean, I
So,
can be pretty sure that none of our family have sat in that fucking throne.
Well, just in case, maybe you should take some precautions, Mary. Just in case he's not after Kreshia, but he's after you.
Hmm.
So at this point, Kaelin Duskrender, the Paladin and other daughter of Queen Skeza, will sort of cough and step up to you guys and say, "Are you sure this Lord Winter is actually after us at all? If he
I'm not
wanted
convinced.
to take us for some violent purpose, surely he had every opportunity already."
Yeah, he has the means, which is why I figure he like actually requires us, and taking us as hostages style is not gonna really do the favor there.
well, there's only one real way to find out. Just ask him himself.
Yep.
Alright.
And hey, redemption's important and all that stuff. Never give him a chance in the first place.
And so, the party spends a day trekking through the wide open grasslands. The storm gets progressively nearer and nearer until, by the time you're approaching these towering, shattered wooden gates, the woods long eroded to nothing but curled metal and bits of stone cracked out from whenever this place was besieged ages ago. Now the rain is starting to fall, and it's a bitter, cold rain that makes you shiver down to your very bones. It's hard to fight the urge just to run inside for shelter, but as adventurers you know not to do something so foolish, especially as all of you
I
begin
don't
to
know.
feel the ever-present thrum of magic in the air, hot and heavy.
It seems
What kind?
ominous.
Yep.
Do any of you have detect magic?
Yeah. I mean, sure. Yeah.
It's
I can
gotta
just.
specialize.
Yeah, I mean, if you open up and focus, it's not quite blinding, but there is an intense source of magic somewhere very close by, and when you concentrate for a moment, you sort out the strands and colors of magic to see that this is a powerful, powerful transmutation aura. It seems to
You know what might
surround the
also be
whole of the
helpful?
castle.
I'm gonna grant myself that.
Okay.
So I can peep into the ethereal, seeing as, might be useful being able to see ghosts.
All right. I think when you do, you immediately begin to see something. I wouldn't call it ghosts, but perhaps after images is more correct. You see the scene I described earlier, these elves marching out of the castle, a dragon winging out of the sky, and a great set of heroes standing atop the battlements watching an army form, but you see them all as ghostly, pale reflections, barely cogent enough to discern faces and shapes.
I'm getting like that image of fucking Lord of the Rings.
Yeah,
I'm wearing the ring
is
vision.
definitely fucking Mordor vision.
Alright, yeah, so I look over it all and just blink a few times and try and make it so that I can concentrate on the here and now at the same time. Wow, this place saw a fucking huge battle once. Like
There's
a
a lot
goddamn
of
enormous one. There was a dragon, and she's just like pointing and tracking it as it moves, which to you guys are just like, I'm just poking through the rain, like, fucking there's a big ass dragon.
there's a lot of power in the air.
Yep, not
Hello.
surprised.
Magical residual.
I can't see how this would be residual magic. There's just too much of it.
No,
It's far.
no, I mean it's so much magic used at one point that it left images. Like
I think it's more than
the
that.
residual.
I think a lot of them died. A lot of them, if not all of them.
That's a lot of magic right there.
You're seeing. So what are you seeing? Echoes of people and things.
Yeah, imagine you gave like ghosts and magic like sort of the same space to exist in, but neither of them were solid or complete. It's like two halfway images.
I suppose
I've
if
Kind
there
of got
was
them
a,
blending all over. It's very distracting.
I suppose if there was an event so intense and enough people who were strong enough, I guess they could leave us some kind of psychic impression on the land.
Like, just as Mary's saying that, Kreshia, you see something tremendous on the horizon up to the north here, to the northwest. In your ghostly vision, the sky tears open, a great conflagration of white fire ripping open the heavens, and the ghostly apparitions around you all just... There's a moment of screaming and then being recoiled back and then blasting apart. All of them at once.
Yeah, I probably do like yelp in surprise a little bit myself.
And I don't know if you would immediately recognize it, but it bears a strong similarity once you get your bearings back to that detonation of Residium back in the mainland.
Sure. How hard is like the surface below me?
You guys are on a long stone bridge approaching the gate, so quite hard.
Can I see anywhere where there was a particularly large concentration of people, maybe like siege engines or mechanisms, where their images were, and then have a quick like dig and root around, maybe see if there's some kind of evidence left over?
Yeah, sure. Right through this bridge, you saw a whole army of elves marching to war, so perhaps this would be the place. And clearly a siege happened here at some point thereafter, for the gates have been torn open.
Yeah, I'll look across the others. I saw what killed them all. Not quite as impressive as our big bomb explosion, but something pretty similar. And I'll point vaguely at where it would have come from. Totally fucking wiped a lot of people out all at once. And our eyes are probably like watering a little bit from just being caught in a very bright flash.
Residium would have been more, well, I wouldn't say commonplace, but less hard to come by.
Yeah, I mean, I can
That
see like
long ago.
Talion symbols all the fuck over this place.
You definitely are seeing things from 1,000 years ago then.
Yeah, I'm gonna head to where it looks like there was something big, and I'll have a quick route around and like just crouch maybe scrape at some stuff with a knife, see if I can uncover something.
Sure. Make an investigation check.
Just a 12.
All right. I mean, yeah, you get off the bridge and right to the soil on the outer side of it and dig around for a bit, but what happened here was 1,000 years ago. There's no trace.
But there's just still magic just filling everything.
Yes.
Yeah.
So you're seeing the like magic aura emanating from this place, this transmutation field. And Kreshia is seeing these residual images of the elves that used to live here. You're not sure if they're like related to the same thing, but they're certainly both concurrent.
Yeah. I mean, surely a gigantic motherfucker bomb would come off as evocation more than transmutation.
Is there anywhere, like when looking around, does the energy seem brighter in any direction, or is it just
Inside the
all
castle.
pervasive? Just inside the castle, then. Okay.
Fair enough. Would I recognize it as
Brighter.
having any similarities between this and creating a like special wizard zone like I can do?
Special wizard zone? Question mark.
Sorry, the fucking spell that's like the step up from Tiny Hut.
Magnificent Mansion.
No. Private Sanctum, where you pick a zone, and then if you do that enough times, it becomes a sanctum. It becomes a safety spot that you can build in as the card. Because that one...
DCL,
that's
you're
after.
super quiet.
Wow. Yeah. Sounds like
Yeah,
you're talking
put on
from
your
different from
headset,
another
please.
room.
I have my headset on. It's leaking out audio.
Okay.
Oh. I thought you were talking.
No.
It's weird. Yeah, we could hear it as though you were trying to have a conversation with us, but the conversation started like 4 rooms away.
I'm here. My mic works.
Okay.
Odd. Yeah.
Yeah, you definitely think something like this might have happened in the distant past, but that's not creating the aura.
Mm.
And
Okay.
this is certainly an elven castle, so that type of magic being here wouldn't be a terrible surprise.
Fair enough. At some point, Crash just is now. I mean, now that she's got this spell, immediately wants to make a really nice summer home and just sanctum the fuck out of it. Maybe find the beach of traps and love that the orc happened to have in his mind space.
No offense, Kreshia, but we're in Winter's Sanctum. We should be on guard and ready, not trying to investigate battles that happened thousands of years ago.
I mean, I'm only seeing them as a result of, opening my eyes to possible invisible people, but I don't see any of them. So, I mean, you can be glad that there aren't invisible people watching us right now. It's kind of nice.
As far as we know.
That is a good thing. I hadn't considered that. Visible people watching at all times.
Yep,
Man,
and there aren't any.
That's creepy.
It is. It is. But they would watch us bath, perverts. Yeah, no, there's no one invisible here. So let's keep going, I guess.
Alright. You enter the castle. You enter the castle.
All I heard was and salt.
Yeah, I heard salt, like, lel. But you enter the castle, passing through these mighty stone arches that make up the gate, and into a open courtyard. Once this place must have been magnificent. Great fountains and statues surround a central keep that is mighty beyond any you have seen before, yet it has been crushed by the weight of time. Little and less stands now, just 2 walls hanging limply. Yet the magic persists in this place, grows only stronger as you approach the central keep. Now vines and weeds have overgrown it, bits and pieces of debris crumble as the wind and rain hammer the place. As she walks, Kreshia gets slapped in the face by a big, wet chunk of cloth, and when she pulls it off and blinks, she sees what might have once been a banner, now just faded dark blue-black cloth that almost disintegrates in her hand.
Place needs
Ah, how
a nice
delightful.
topiary. Something to, lighten things up. Little green would not go amiss.
Yeah, I feel like undeath is no excuse for having a really miserable looking castle.
Well, ostensibly his actual castle is beneath us somewhere.
True, but first impressions are laid out by, what you're walking into.
Speaking of fresh impressions, I noticed that there's a distinct lack of Lord Winter or any of his servants greeting us.
I
That
know,
is
I'm still
pretty
a
rude.
little unsettled by it.
As you say that,
I long have
you hear a
expected
voice
something.
somewhere behind you, and you turn.
Ah,
And-
invisible people!
Sword drawn!
Yeah, everyone flips the fuck out and turns around as this voice speaks, and you see a familiar figure, a tall, gaunt woman with ashen, pale skin, wearing a long silk veil over her face and black armor with great demonic wings spread behind her back. The champion who you
we meet
saw
again.
in the temple, and she favors you with a faint smile and says, "We choose not to exist above ground. Let the locals think this place is long abandoned. It's better for everyone."
I
Wouldn't kill you
suppose the
to
secrecy is a good reason, but still.
Wouldn't kill you to make some noise when you walk, you know.
You would be surprised.
Well, it's good to see you again.
No, it's not.
Be polite, Zanza.
Well, welcome to Uthon and Firgi, the castle of the elves, home of the great sage Salarin. First victory of my father's reign.
Salad tongue starfruit?
She just
First
narrows her
victory,
eyes at you.
I'm not familiar with this person's name.
I don't know why, but research on him turned up in a lot of books while I was younger.
No?
Kreshia said
No
this-
idea what the relevance was, but yeah, no, I know quite a lot about old Sandfish, Starshams.
Kreshia said this used to be a proud castle until something blew it up and wiped it out almost all at once. Is that how your father reigns?
Was it the dwarves?
No, this castle was not affected by the explosion. It's what happened after that left the imprints I suppose you're seeing now.
Yeah,
Hundreds and
temple.
hundreds of thousands of elves suddenly cut off from all their magic, the thing that made them so haughty and proud, lording over all the realms.
Wish I could have been there.
Shut
Uh, uh-huh.
I wish I was there when Vetra the Betrayer eliminated mages from existence.
Jesus Christ. Oh. And just what did that?
I wonder
Death
what
of
could
the gods.
deprive the elves of all their magic all at once.
Except for the former champion of magic.
I'm more
Killing all
concerned
of
about
them.
wondering what your father wants us here for.
She
I
just
think-
shrugs lightly. He wants to talk to you.
Yes. Well, yeah, we'll get those answers when we talk to him directly. Oh my god.
Any kind of advice? I mean, you've kind of known him for the longest of us.
Be polite and respectful. He is a
And
man
what
of
gets
great
sensed.
power.
Alright. Anything else? Does he have a favorite color?
Perhaps don't emphasize that you're an elf.
I feel like he's going to have a problem with me regardless, but yeah, I'll be trying not to draw on that whole point of reference.
Hopefully he doesn't even care about you. It's
I mean, that-
Merisiel he's interested in.
I mean,
I still don't know why.
You're his kin, of course.
That can't. I.
So what you're saying is that the rest of us are disposable.
If that's what you think.
Just stay close to me then, I suppose.
and maybe the same whole sweeping death AoE won't wipe us all out. It'll be fine.
I'm just going to slide an arm through Kreshia's arm and just hold on to keep you close. There.
Yes, if you could
That way.
all hold hands for a moment, that will make all of this easier.
Oh, you're just going to bring us right down, aren't you?
Of course. Would you rather spend a
before-
few hours excavating these ruins?
Ah, fuck
I mean,
that
it would
noise.
probably be very fascinating. I am interested into what's causing that blinding radiance in that castle.
I wouldn't know.
I hope I will get. I would like to investigate that, but perhaps at a later date.
So, do you all do as she asks and hold hands?
I'm gonna put out
Kreshia,
your hand, give a finger wiggle to the others. Who wants to hold my
I
hand?
hold Sansa's hand.
After this, Kreshia,
One of them at least.
remind me to give you a history lesson.
This is, of course, a part of your safe passage, yes?
Of course. I'm going with you after all. I don't want to end up half lodged inside a wall.
Remember,
That
everyone,
That can happen. Nobody
course.
told me that
Remember.
can happen.
that's why mages have to practice really hard and be very careful about what they do sometimes. Sometimes you get stuck inside of a wall and then die.
That doesn't happen. I've already perfected it after casting it a hole twice. Shifty eyes.
So, remember, everyone, be on your best behavior. Be
Hands
polite.
and feet inside the magical teleportation circle. At all
Show
times.
nothing but your best manners.
Alright.
I only promise to try.
I think I'm going to have to ask you to do more than try.
I only promise to
And-
try.
Sansa has good manners when he does anything.
Okay, so, I mean, think of it like you are a good and noble knight visiting the court of a king. You would, of
I thought
course.
Zanza wasn't a knight. I'm
Just
joking.
admit-
I'm joking. I'm joking. I'm joking. Jesus fucking Christ.
Good.
Gonna give us
It's
fucking
good
connections.
Hey, that he's right though. He's right in two ways. That Sansa has tried to be a knight. He isn't a knight. He's just waiting to be knighted.
He totes himself as being a knight, and so I would expect him to act as a knight should, which is with incredible grace and flawless etiquette.
And charming decorum. Alright, yeah. If no one, I'll just fucking grab Frida's hand or Marcus's or whatever.
Let's just get this. Let's just
Alright.
do this.
And so, the demoness steps into your midst and says, "Try not to vomit." And then
And then we rolled con saves.
there is an echoing burst of power, and your visions are all filled with light. And campaign over. It was a trap all along. Goodbye, everyone.
Ah!
Alright, so guys, I'm gonna be running Cyberpunk Fate for the next of all of Savin's games. Who wants in?
Oh, can we play
I'm down for
AITS instead?
Yes.
I would love to play that.
Wait, what?
Just shit posting. Like at a map right here.
Yeah, literal verbal shit posting, I guess. human shit posting.
I don't want to play Pop Team Epic the game.
Alright.
Man, I
And
fucking
thus-
love that.
The party awakens,
Oh.
opening their eyes,
Oh God!
and sees
Oh,
a
it's worse
great
than I thought.
sprawling stone hall
No.
surrounding a center pool of largely frozen water. More than a dozen women with long, flowing black hair and black, snow-crusted armor mill about the place, all armed and ready for fighting. And across from you, at the far end of the room, you see what can only be the perpetrators behind your potential demise, and certainly the plots you've been fighting against. You see a man, tall and gaunt with long dark hair, sitting upon a throne clad in coal-black plate, with a sword resting beside him. On the ground, almost like a Conan poster with her arms wrapped around his leg, is a demon woman with great horns, lustrous red hair, and a full figure that screams of desire, clad only in the sheerest of silks. Beside them stands another woman, red-haired, clad in a long gown that seems almost like a priestess's garb. And of course your guide, this woman with a veil, who takes a few steps forward, turns to the side and says, "Father, I bring to you Merisiel Duskrender, heir to your line and companions." And she'll, give Kreshia a very pointed look, don't fucking say anything. And she steps aside. And so too do several of the blackguards. Will make room for you and yours to approach the throne.
Now, are we supposed to approach, or is Merisiel supposed to approach?
Approach. You will follow, but you will follow behind me. All right.
Are our arms still linked, or am I released to step behind as well?
What would be the appropriate? Probably be behind me and to my left. Behind me and to my left. Stay a few paces behind me, but stay close.
Sure thing.
Question, Savin, were you serious or not serious about the whole don't throw up?
That character was being serious. It does feel, it sucks. You don't vomit all over yourself, but your stomach heaves and you stagger around for a few moments.
Help. The turnips are trying to escape.
I use magic key hands to pat the goat and help her be better.
And just steady goat. Jeez, wobble goat.
So there's a
Now
moment.
just imagine like a wobberjack Frida.
Yeah, so Frida staggers around, clip clop, which draws some eyes, and then the woman with the veil gets a curious look on her face, and then snaps back to attention and says, "And Kaelin Duskrender of the same." Kaelin looks around "Oh, am I not supposed to be here?" Sort of grimaces and...
I think you were unexpected. You were a bit more unexpected.
So yeah, she'll tuck in behind Mary, looking quite nervous.
To stay together. I have one. I'm looking around. And I'm looking around are these all Winters? Does he have any sons ever?
God, they're all hot.
Every single one of them.
They are stunningly hot.
Pants, keep it.
Keep it in the pants.
So you look
Wait,
around
Merisiel,
oh my god, they're hot! If you're nervous, try and imagine them in their underwear. It's not working!
Mary, remember these are probably these are all related to you, okay? Is this a pool?
Yes,
Or is this
it
just
is
okay.
largely frozen, but there is indeed some water still free within it.
I'm gonna
looks like it
ask
might
this
not...
question. I'm
Okay.
sure it's a coincidence of the map pack, but Is this place's style similar to the ruins where the Soul Wrought Throne was, or is it just a map pack?
Just map pack. This is actually
Okay.
not the same map pack either.
Huh. Is it the
Mary,
same drawer? Artist, even?
everything I use is Gabriel Pickard, pretty much.
Eh.
But Mary, you'll notice as you look into the pool here that it's not a pool. There's no bottom. Is that the ocean down there? It seems to be an endless void of darkness.
Got to get one of them for my own place.
Lord Winter does seem to not have anything but daughters. That's very odd. I wonder what that is.
I mean, they could be both.
Mary?
Oh, God.
You see a figure step out of the shadows of a side room. A curvaceous woman, to say the least, and matronly indeed, looking very much so like a kitsune, though much thicker than any you've seen before. She wears no armor and carries no weapons, just a simple tunic hides her modesty.
Is she a monk?
No, she is Queen Skeza and Daria Duskrender.
Damn, I was really excited there for a second.
And yeah, she steps forward and gives Mary a faint smile, but she seems to have as much concern in her eyes as relief or happiness. And as the word Mom escapes your lips, the figure who's been sitting on the throne silently all this time crosses one leg over the other and steeples his fingers, looks at you and says grimly, "At last you grace my presence."
I will look up, look up at him, yeah, and we'll continue just. Yeah. Yes, I am sorry it took a bit longer to get here.
Do you not bow before a lord on his throne?
Right. My apologies. Yeah, okay, I'll bow. I will bow about it. Yeah.
All right. And what about the
What?
rest of the party as you are slowly filing in behind?
Kneel with no knees.
It's a logistical issue, I suppose.
Well,
Suppose
Marcus has Frida up on his shoulders because she's woozy there, so she can't really bow. So I'll sort of go down to tilt a knee, kind of a very manly curtsy, and give him an out of the
Butch
head.
curtsy.
What would be the polite way to show respect without kneeling? Would it be what Marcus did?
I mean, you can bow, not kneel. Failing that, like, I don't know, a manly nod.
Okay. Well,
You fucking up nod, Lord Winter.
fucking.
What
no,
up, dude?
What would be the actual significance of kneeling? Nothing, or is it?
I mean, there's no significance other than respect when you enter a lord's throne to at least bow. I mean, ostensibly, he holds himself to be of higher noble rank than you, and you have no idea what he might have been in life.
I'm battling with the urge to not want to show respect to a man who wants to destroy the world and needing to survive. I'll bow.
Alright. So, yeah, Kalen curtsies.
Oh wait, shit! I meant kneel.
Alright, I mean, he asked you to bow, but, you know, if you want to kneel, that's fine.
Oh wait, I thought we were supposed to kneel.
No, you said kneel.
Oh,
You
did
said
I?
kneel.
Okay. Well, then, yeah, a kneel is fine.
Okay.
Herp derp.
No, you mean a bow is fine then.
Yeah, a bow would be fine, but yeah, if you want to kneel, either way.
Okay, well, the respectful way is then to bow before the Lord.
I kneel only because it makes me faster if I move from it.
You kneel into the starter position for a fucking sprint. And they're off!
And Zanza is shot 10,000 times.
Yeah, the starter gun is
Excuse
fired
me,
at Zanza.
9,999 times.
Yeah, you can block at least one of them.
So yeah,
Anyway.
once that happens, Winter will curl a couple fingers towards Mary, like approach.
Okay. Stay right here.
Yeah, gently nod.
All right.
And I will take a deep breath, and I will stand tall, straight-backed, and proud.
That's good. Good. So, my champion tells me you don't know what you are. Or, more accurately, what your adoptive mother is.
I suppose I don't know the whole story, no?
Just like them to keep things hidden. You are kin of Taeleer, goddess of trickery and magic and redemption. She is the daughter of my wife, Irishka. Say hello, dear. The demon queen sitting on the throne's dais gives you a pretty smile. That way, you and I are kin. Your sister there more so, but she was uninvited for now. Though her presence is not unwelcome. Come. He'll motion her forward as well. Kaelin will awkwardly squeeze by Kreshia and go up to the throne.
Yeah, I just like step to the edge of the pedestal so she can walk past without looking like ungraceful.
Shit, do I not have perception chain? Ah, fuck, I don't think I have perception chain.
What are you looking for?
Exits.
There is a doorway behind you guys. That seems to be the only like door you can see. There are a couple of side rooms here, and there appears to be some sort of side doors here behind the throne. Though you're not sure where they go. Is anyone else doing anything in this tense moment?
I guess insight on the blackguards. Kind of gauge how strong each one of them is.
They carry themselves with the grace and poise of a veteran knight.
Do they know Kung Fu?
Wow.
Probably not.
I have an edge.
Okay, well, I think that's good.
No, I'm just observing this as closely and carefully as possible.
Right?
Kind of don't want to drop the
Zanza
ball
will
on this
keep an eye
situation.
out. Zanza will keep an eye out for any shift in tone from the guards. Do they look like they're about to throw down, and then it needs to be ready?
No. They... to use a purely mechanical term, it doesn't look like they have like readied actions to zap you or something. They're just standing around watching with marked interest.
That can change.
Yeah, that can indeed change, and with a high enough perception check, maybe I'll even let you know. But, Merisiel, you and Kaelin have approached the throne, and Winter leans down, resting his elbows on his knees, and looks the two of you over. And some children, Skeza had. Good. Good.
There's a lot.
Don't I know it? It's going to be rather difficult corralling you all in one place. That's why I started with you. She said you'd be the easiest to get here. I guess she was part right.
I would... Why did you want us here?
Oh, yes, that's right. Suppose there's an element of curiosity in the air, isn't there?
We've had a few, thrown around a few ideas as to why, but we're not too sure why exactly.
Well, that's easy. I want you here to protect you, to keep you safe. In your
Protect
case,
us?
mostly for Skeza's sake. We're not blood, necessarily.
Mm.
Although, I admit a certain fondness for you after watching your adventures from afar.
Ah, I see. I had wondered just how, when I had learned of our connection, just how deep it actually ran. I never knew my father's half of myself, so I wondered if there was something down that line that I just didn't know about.
No, your father's some random satyr.
Oh. I don't know, does that out of character? Out of character. Does that make me more of a main character or less of a main character to have a father who abandoned me?
You're pretty
Uh,
much
ran
the main
away.
character at this
Rather
point.
than having my father be
Shut,
related to Lord
fucking
Winter.
your
That-
princess, your apparent
I
blood
know,
relative.
but
I mean,
how
you're a
hot?
bastard, but...
You
yeah.
go full main character at this point because to pretend like you're anything but is an insult.
How protagonist can I
You go
possibly
full
be?
protagonist, all right. You don't stop 50%. You go all the way. Fuck off. Do it.
All right. Well, Mary will seem kind of actually a little disappointed that.
Sorry, did I burst a bubble of yours? Hoping he was some great hero, maybe the Satyr King
mean-
Astraeus.
I mean, I'd always wondered.
No. You have enough royal blood in you. Well,
Sort of.
close enough. So, welcome to my abode. Make yourself at home. You'll be here a while.
I hope you don't mind my asking, but what are you here? What are you protecting us from?
The end of the world, of course. I've gathered all those loyal to me, all those of kith and kin. And here we wait out the apocalypse. Enjoy the view.
What? What apocalypse?
Gods, girl, are you dense? The world's ending. It's been ending for 1,000 years, but now it's finally caught up to itself. Your friend back there, he points like directly at Kreshia,
Uh,
decided to open the gates of hell itself.
Wait, excuse me.
do you mean the throne?
Of course, I mean the throne. Did you think there'd be no consequences sitting on an ancient artifact left by the first civilization?
We didn't know what it was.
Yeah, that's generally how we operate, to be fair.
Would it look rude for me to interject, or do I just want to let him monologue here?
I mean, he's talking at you.
Yeah, I know. But not to. If he were talking to me, I'd respond immediately. Instead, I'm just watching with a quirked brow. If he gives me a pause, I'll speak up.
Yeah, he's paused for a moment.
Let's put it this way. If you're an adventurer in an ancient place and you see like an ancient throne that speaks of blessings and you don't choose to sit on it, then I feel you're doing a poor job as an adventurer.
Fair enough. Still, good job fucking the world.
I'm gonna look at my mother and then look back to Lord Winter. Surely there has to be a way to stop it.
There's a long moment, then he just shrugs. Meh.
Pretty sure we know a place to look to stop it.
Zanza will actually raise his hand in the back.
Yeah, maybe. Maybe those should be around the same dating period.
He, like, slowly cranes his head up to look at Zanza.
So, you mean to tell us that all the horrible things that are happening in the world are not your fault, but in fact ours?
There's a long moment, then Lord Winter just throws his head back and laughs.
Come on, it's at least 40-60.
Alright, you caught me. Maybe I'm trying to destabilize your government. But that's neither here nor there. The apocalypse is happening either way. I'm just having a little fun before it all ends.
Bit rough. Say,
Can't accept.
I have a curious question.
I squint intensifies.
Look, if the world's gonna end, you party as hard as you possibly can. I can understand that. Yeah, I'll put the query out. What's the last thing that you saw us do, Lord Winter?
Get teleported down here.
Fair enough. I suppose last moment of relevance before we reach this island.
There's a moment's consideration, then he snorts and says, I had the distinct misfortune of scrying on you just before you landed that airship. That was a sight.
Is he talking about
But
the
was it a
entrails
good
or-
sight or a bad sight?
Is he talking
I will
about
just look at Kreshia like.
Is he talking about the entrails or you guys having sex?
I think he's talking about us having sex.
I'm definitely talking about you having sex.
I'm gonna put
Fair
up
enough.
hands over my face. Oh god.
Hey, that's
And
the
I'll glance sidelong at Scares and go, I'm sorry to announce now in this rather duress moment that I'm dating your daughter. And we're expecting, it's, thumbs up.
Hey, wait, out of character, because I'm not going to blurt this in character, but he's the one screwing on you guys, or are you acting ashamed? He's
I mean, it's
the
a
one
different, it's a different thing to actually to have someone acknowledge that they may or may not avoid you a little bit during some happy birthday sex.
Fucking, you guys should be like, well, that's your fault for being the pervert.
No, I mean, it's
I
still
think he's
been brought
referring
up.
to the Manticore attack.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking, because he said during the landing, not before then.
Speaking of that, we interrogated one of those manticores, and they said someone hired them to take out our ship, and from the description, kind of sounded
Well, like you.
like you,
An elf in a cloak and great black plate.
with a big sword.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Ashen skin.
that was
Dude,
me.
my
I
fault.
hired the Manticores. I offered their queen a place here, if she would be so kind as to find me an airship. You had the distinct misfortune of being the first one over. Honestly, I expected you to teleport, but
Well, how
what
are
can
we
you do?
It's
Mm-hmm.
just, I'm gonna put up, I'm like, pauses though, to you, like, we could have probably organized a teleportation.
I mean, I guess we could if we had gone to the capital and
Yeah.
gone to the symposium. We probably
Oh,
could have.
well.
I probably could have dragooned some of the mages into doing it.
Yeah.
I'm surprised. I'm disappointed in myself that I didn't think of that.
But we did get to fly an airship, which was fun.
I mean, airship flying is very fun.
Yeah.
2 people died.
What scares us reaction to the, by the way, there is a kid. Sorry, we're dating.
I think, like, when you said that, she just has her hands on her hips and is staring judgmentally at Mary for a moment, then just like, oh, you. Just gets a little faint smile.
Awesome. Awkwardly scratched back of head.
Zanza raises his hand again.
Oh my gods, boy, come here. All of you, stop standing at the back of the class like idiots.
I think they're just trying to, behave.
Then they'll actually come up
You're
to the
kind of a big deal.
Goddamn right I am.
eye squint intensifies, but anyways.
So, let me get this straight. The world is ending, and you're just going to what? Sit in your castle and let it come to ruin around you?
Yeah.
And you won't be affected at all?
No.
Forgive me for pointing out the obvious, but you live here. Well, don't actually live, but you exist in the world. So if the world ends, you lose all your stuff.
Sorry, let me be a bit more specific. The planet's not going to explode or anything.
Oh, well, that's encouraging.
That would be a bit of a problem for me, yes. No, it's just the end of your civilization and probably all of your races. That's been long overdue anyway.
This conversation makes me very uncomfortable for a multitude of reasons that I'm not sure would be polite to bring up right now.
It should. There's nothing shameful about feeling afraid at the end of everything, kid.
Speaking of which, I'm not going to get a better time to say this, so let me just say, pretty cheesed off that you killed all the humans. That was not very nice.
There's like a moment's pause, and Mordwin just sort of scratches his chin and says, "Did I do that?"
I'm not
That's
bolstered
what
by
I've
the
been
fact
told.
I'm not bolstered by the fact you have to think about that.
I killed a lot of people. Humans, they're a footnote in history.
Well, that's just unkind.
They were unkind to me.
It seems everyone's unkind to you for some reason or another. Your history seems to be spotted with betrayals.
At a certain point, you got to ask yourself if you're the one at fault. Everybody's turning on you.
Of course I'm the one at fault. I thought to myself, you know what? Fuck everybody. I'm going to kill them all. And then I did. He leans back in his throne and picks up a little, wine glass and takes a long sip.
I bet that glass wasn't even full. You needed a dramatic pause for sipping.
I admit it's at least refreshing you're honest about it.
And you guys were saying that this guy might be A-okay and could be convinced to
No.
join the forces of good, huh?
No.
I am the forces of good. I don't know if you've read your history books, old man, but I used to be a paladin, just like you.
Mister, going around killing people just because you can, that's not very paladinly.
Oh, I didn't
very
kill
much
them
like
just
me.
because I can. I killed them because they killed my wife. Temporarily.
What, all of them? That seems...
Seems a little sins of the father, if you ask me.
Well, they shouldn't have killed Ereshka.
Also, she's alive again, so... I'm confused why you were so upset.
Well, I killed them first, and then she came back. Thanks in part to Skeza here. He'll wave a hand.
Zanza kind of shoots a worried look at Skeza.
Oh, that.
So, she came back, but all the people you killed for almost no reason did not come back. That doesn't seem very fair.
Well, it turned out to be almost no reason, but
No,
yeah,
it's not
where's the
fair.
whole no takes his backsies here?
They were dicks. They stripped me of my immortality, threw my wife on the pyre to burn, and then told me to get out because I consorted with demons. She's a good woman, Ereshka. Kind, beautiful, the most radiant soul I'd ever met. But just because she's a demon, she had to die. And I was cast out for defending her.
Never really gave people a chance to apologize or make amends for what they did if you go around killing everybody.
I don't think they wanted to.
It's one thing to seek revenge on the people who wronged you. It's another completely to punish an entire race for the sins of a few.
It wasn't the sins of a few, it was the sins of their rulers. And besides, every elf I met between the capital and here Treated me like dog shit. Like I was a traitor to everything they stood for. Kicked me, spit on me.
Again, rude and certainly deserving of an apology, but hardly justifying genocide.
Yeah. Let's see
As you
how you
considered,
feel when
you
I
may
kill
have
someone
an-
you love.
Well, technically you already did, because everyone I knew and loved is dead.
All right. Ha!
Yeah.
And he just laughs at you.
Huh.
I'm gonna
Unkind.
be.
Savage.
I'm going to be bluntly honest with you and say you're kind of a dick.
Meh.
Wow.
It's just like a general shrug.
I mean, if it's all the same to you, Lord Winter, I'd kind of like to go prevent the end of the world. Or at least put
You
it
can
on
do
hold for
whatever you
another couple
want.
thousand.
I'm not concerned about you, whoever you are.
Well, all that aside, now I'm legitimately confused, because, we had this whole future thing of you standing in charge of a bunch of black ships, but if you're just sitting here, then why would there be a bunch of ships and you standing dramatically on a cliffside?
Those are mine.
And you're going to do what with them?
Yeah, if you're just
Knock over
hiding
your
out
kingdom.
underground, I mean, seems kind
Can
of
you
pointless.
at least wait until we get the end of the world thing sorted out before that?
No, I'm not going to have another chance to kill everybody again.
God,
Better me than these giants you've unleashed on the world. At least I'll do it quick.
That's the
So
end
the
of the world.
giants
The
will wipe
giants?
us? What? They're just a bunch of fucking giants.
this conversation.
And
This
that's
conversation
where
is
you're
several-
wrong, kid.
Alright, so we'll put the whole you yourself still want everything that I love and care for destroyed part aside. What is the relevance of this whole end of the world thing? Like, what exactly has been pushed into motion here because I sat in a fucking chair? How do giants have anything to do with me sitting on a goddamn chair?
Well, I don't really know. Other than as soon as you sat on it, you unleashed a great big magical shockwave that opened up a great bunch of gates all over the world, and these giants started pouring through, and now they're building. Building fortresses, building cities, killing anyone who gets near them. And they're just the herald of what's to come next.
You'd think we would have heard about that. Giants are kind of hard to miss.
We did hear
Okay,
about
so-
it like a bunch.
Okay, so what we do is we make another residium bomb, put it in the chair, set the fuse, and then book it.
I'm
And
curious
blow
now.
the whole thing up.
It's
sitting in-
under Scarn!
If sitting
We
in the chair
evacuate the
was
city first.
if sitting in the chair was enough to unleash this evil, I worry what blowing it up will do.
It's true, that might make it worse.
Then
Maybe-
you'll destroy the orphanage.
Okay, there has
So
to be a
on
way to
top
close
of the
these
world
things and send
ending,
these
you're
things
trying to
back.
compound events by using your army to wipe out a government just for petty revenge before they actually disappear.
Could you repeat that, DCL?
So, for petty revenge, just before the world ends, you're trying to use your army to wipe out another race. And may I ask, what exactly have they done to you to deserve genocide?
Oh, they stabbed me in the back once. That wasn't very
That
funny.
wasn't even the general populace of them. That was like
Mm.
one.
Who
When
stabbed
have I
you in
ever
the back
cared?
exactly?
Mm.
You know,
Oh.
genocide doesn't have to be your universal answer for getting back at anybody who slights you.
It's worked so
just
far.
a
Oh my god.
just an who stabbed you in the back? Sorry.
Queen Kreshia Belmariss. I agreed to put aside our differences once upon a time and fight to save the world from a great big dragon that was going to destroy it all. Once we had the dragon on the ropes, she decided, well, you know what? This Lord Winter guy's a dick. I'm going to stab him in the back.
I can't
she did.
imagine why.
Is there any way you could be persuaded to let that one go and not try to topple everything? So we've got a chance to.
Taking out some.
Look,
notes.
you're all fucked anyway. You
Yeah,
might
so
as well let
fucking
me just go get all the orcs killed.
We're not going to.
No.
Well, first off, we're not going to be fucked because we're going to stop this end of the world or whatever you're talking about.
Sure you are. Uh-huh.
We
Yes.
can at least give it a fucking go. But again, just gonna scale it back to the queen backstabbing thing. Would it be really untoward if I could have a private word with you?
Would it be untoward? No. Am I going to grant it to you? Also no.
Okay.
Would it be too much to ask for you to focus your revengeful efforts on this single person who backstabbed you?
I guess I could go rope up her entire family and torture them to death.
I mean, also excessive.
Zanza?
What?
Zanza.
No.
Sh-
See, I have a lot of orcish followers still. I don't know why, honestly. They just turned up when I showed back up about 50 years ago. I'd like to get rid of them while I still have the chance. Get a little bit of fun out of the chaos before they all die. So I'm going to have them invade Aruna. Simple enough.
I kind of live in Aruna.
No, you live
It's
here
nice.
Okay.
now. Or you die. Either way.
I'm going to ask this as nicely as possible. Is there anything possible we could do to prevent you from genociding another race? For the sins of a singular
I mean,
person?
if it's all the same, you could go and knock over the Hobgoblins' empire. They're assholes.
If they're still around afterwards.
Guys, I feel like we're losing the thread on this. You know.
I want to go back to the.
No, I think that's enough. No, we don't need to go back to that right now. We've got other things to talk about.
All right, I
Fist
cleared
slowly.
most of the day for you. What's
Most
on your
of-
mind,
oh, how
daughter-in-law? Granddaughter-in-law? Vague adoptive kin relation?
Gosh, this is all a lot to take in once.
Kreshia, now might not be the best time for this.
Look to her levelly. I could try and put a stop to it, you know.
I really should have had this conversation with you before. I shouldn't have waffled.
Yeah.
I was going to tell you.
Really? You chose.
Yes.
I'm glad that you got around to that one. Rub my temples. Okay. What if there were a way that you could get your own back against the Queen without, trying to scourge a whole continent with the orcs?
Well, that sounds like not nearly as much fun.
Would you be willing to do it as a favor?
To who? Who the hell are you, anyway? In fact, who are any of you?
Well, apparently I'm the last human.
As if you honestly care.
I thought I left one of you alive at that dragon temple. Oh, yeah. No, there is one of you left. I turned her into a vampire and then made her watch as her dad died.
You're really a
she
dick.
told us about that.
Yeah, we met her.
I can't believe how casual you are about all of this. All your acts of malevolence you just casually talk about as if you were just eating a piece of bread.
It's entirely possible that Mary was looking possibly favorably upon you because you're apparently her pap-pap, but I gotta say...
Oh, that's adorable.
You've ruined lives, knocked over governments, genocided entire races. Do you not even care at all?
At this point, no, not particularly.
Oh my god. I thought the great evil Lord Winter would be some pompous, grandstanding vampire lord who had honor and deep reasons for everything he did. You're just here casually talking about how you screw over people because you can.
Kid, I have been fucked by this world so many times it's not even funny. I tried having honor once, got stabbed in the back. Tried defending a race that couldn't defend itself. Got kicked out of Elf Town. You know what, at this point, fuck it. Everyone on this planet sucks, so I'm gonna kill them all. Let
Not
these
everyone
giants
sucks.
sort out the rest, and maybe whoever else evolves out of the primordial scum of this world will be less of a bunch of cunts.
Look,
Mhm.
I mean, I can agree with a startlingly large quantity of those statements, okay? I really, really honestly can. It's a fucking shit show out there, and frankly, a partial ending of the world wouldn't be the most untoward thing ever. However,
Kreshia.
really not in our fucking purveyance to
Out of
do
character, would
that
Kreshia
whole-
have any reason to be that jaded? I mean, we do, but with Kreshia.
Does it matter?
Good question.
So she's going to continue on a little rant there.
Mm.
If I could propose a trade to sort of balance the scales on the whole queen thing as a favor to your family,
Kreshia,
sorry, Mary.
Kreshia, no.
I would be willing to take her place in this equation. I'm her daughter.
No. Kreshia, don't. Oh my god.
You're a dog, not an elf. I don't want a dog. I like cats.
Well, that's all well and good, but no, I'm Queen Belmariss's daughter by blood.
Huh.
Mm.
And I'd be willing to put a trade in if you're just willing to just fucking let the whole continental thing go. You can have me for whatever the fuck you want. Put me up on the wall, destroy fucking
Kreshia.
cleansing. I don't give a
Kreshia,
shit.
I think
Shut
this
up.
is probably the worst idea you've ever had in your entire life.
Sure, it fucking is. It's a terrible, terrible idea, but also I can't fight a goddamn army, can I? I'd love to try. I'd probably take like a whole bunch of people out in a great graphic explosion. Maybe I'd find some residium, snort it off a chick's boner, and then go at it, destroy as much as I can all at once. But I don't see that happening, so I would much rather try and do this with just me.
I like you. You're fun.
Thanks.
She is
so
fun.
Is it you cool with this trade, perhaps?
No,
No?
you can stick around though.
Oh, thank God.
Okay.
For the record, Kreshia, I was not going to allow you to sacrifice yourself.
I mean, it's touching.
It's cute that you think you have a choice.
Yeah, we are kind of surrounded.
And okay, so really, it seems just like such a fucking waste that you just want to wipe out the continent while the end of the world's already coming, just because you're bored with the orcs.
And because you're a dick.
Okay, let's take that a moment aside.
What if we
for-
can stop it, though?
Yeah, like if we do, for instance, stop the end of the world, such as it were. Can you leave him the fuck alone? Can we be done with that then instead? You enjoy your little castle underground where you were going to plan to wait out the end of the world anyway and just let it fucking go.
Nah.
The fuck, man? That's a really easy, simple deal.
He's been kind of making the point that he's kind of a jerk.
Yeah, I mean, it's next level. I'm a sociopath, but still, come on. I didn't say that out loud. Zanza, you didn't hear me admit that.
I was about to say, I'm pretty
Look,
sure.
as fun as it would be to flay you alive or keep you as my personal rape pet for 100 years.
Excuse me.
Excuse you.
I mean, he's being matter of fact. I can respect that much.
I'm more interested in your mother. You bring her here and we might have a deal.
Sorry, she's not my life to give.
I'm sure she would not agree. Why don't you ask her?
Oddly
I'm sure she'll
touching.
be right here.
Let's face it, even if she did that, what then will come the odds that you actually do call off your little end of the world fucking scheme? It's starting to sound like low as hell.
If you're willing to sacrifice yourself, then clearly it must be some chance.
True, but you also said no, so even if I asked
Well,
my
you made
mother
a
to
shit
throw
deal.
herself,
I don't want you.
fair. But at the same time then, let's as horrible a concept it is, say my mother did put herself up to death to save the rest of the land. Is that even a deal you would accept?
Hmm.
See, I'm
Harry,
not
what do
gonna
you think?
fucking...
The Demon Queen will look up and she'll slowly slink up to her feet and whisper something in his ear. He'll nod. Rowan, thoughts? The red-haired woman beside him will take a step over and do the same.
Oh, that's who that is. That's Rowan.
He'll consider it a moment and then say, almost. We're getting there. I want one more thing from you, though. Not from you. You've done enough. I want one from you two. He will point to Mary and Kalen.
Huh?
If I agree to call off my armies, I want your guarantee that you'll stay here. Your mother will be a weepy mess if you don't.
Yeah, why is she here in the first place?
Can't.
Oh, she tried to come kill me. You know, the
I
usual.
can't imagine.
That's
why.
what you came here to do?
Well, of course she did. Look
Of
at
course
this
that's
guy.
what it was.
Hey,
Hey, look, you don't even try to insult it. You know full well now.
Man, I thought you... Mom.
Skeza, starts to say something. Winter puts up a hand and says, I'm kidding. That was a lie. Well, not really a
Oh.
lie. She did try to kill me afterwards. No, she gave one last great attempt to bring me back into the fold, to tell me that I was worth something and I could be a good person again. And I said, no, but I have a cool castle. It's like halfway underwater. You could stay here and not die. I'll even let all of your sproglings come and join the party here.
It's less glorious than I had pictured a goddess being.
Oh, no, that's not the goddess. I still have to trick her into coming here.
She did want to come here, but
Oh,
she did want... She
Well.
kind of got...
shit.
Couldn't be sure of the whole, intentions.
Yeah.
What am I going to do to
apparently
keep a
kind of
god
good
here
reason.
against her will?
I don't know, you'd probably find some kind of way. You've proven you're a colossal dickhole yourself.
Eh.
Look, give
Hey,
me
did you know
immortality
she
and
killed a
couple-
god once? That was fun.
Yeah, sure, probably, whatever. And give me a
In
couple
cold
thousand
blood.
years, I could figure that shit out.
Turned out to be your
How hard could it
dad,
possibly
too.
be?
Okay, Frida, just... Okay. Can we start, please? And with the whole name calling.
Yeah, I'm getting a little
Yeah,
tired
alright.
of hearing the insult slinging.
Sorry.
Yeah,
Alright, not helping.
it's just... In
It's really not.
Sansa, yes, you are, because this is not a constructive way to form a conversation. As much as it would feel like a way to empower or throw weight into your words, it's not a positive way to form a construction, keep a conversation going, or have a discussion with.
Zanza kind of gives a side eye to Lord Winter. He's just like, I'm not sure I can have a constructive conversation with this guy.
You gotta try, man.
Okay. Let's bring it
You
back.
can't.
Lord Winter,
Yes.
what was the thing that made you want to give people a try once more when you tried being a hero?
Oh, that was easy. There was a dragon that was going to destroy all life on this world. Not just these giants who are rather intent on knocking over civilization. But this dragon actually wanted to stomp out all life. Thought we'd all be better off. Well,
He sounds-
undead as I may be, my children are alive, and I rather prefer them that way. So I decided to put aside my differences with Skeza and Belmariss and all of them, and kill the dragon. And they fucked
Right.
me, because of course they did.
I mean, okay, snark aside, what would happen if these giants also had a vested interest in trying to destroy you? You said they were just the heralds. Surely anything that comes after them would be so far worse that even your castle's in danger.
Oh no, what's coming after them is much better. I'm looking forward to
What?
it.
What's coming
I'm
after the
solemnly
giants?
curious.
The next civilization, of course. You have to
Um,
realize this has happened over and over again. These
What?
giants
Yeah,
are just here
yeah.
to clean up what's left.
Did they become the civilization then? Because, I mean, if they've been super rejected for everyone, that sounds exceptionally boring.
I
No,
thought it
no,
was
the giants will just go
civilizations.
back to their gates, I imagine, at some point.
A
You
civilization
imagine at
is
some
just
point? Fuck.
is
Well, they've
just
done it before.
coming here. That sounds impossible.
Zanza just sighs into his palms and whispers to himself, I cannot express how much I hate the fact that I'm having this conversation right now.
Look,
All
let's
right.
put it like this, kids. Civilizations come and go. One conquers the next, and it gets conquered by whoever comes next. On and on and on.
The
I
spiders,
am a great
the elves.
big disruption in that cycle. Because I knocked over the elves and their great and mighty civilization, but I didn't really want to conquer anything. That wasn't what I was here for. And to be honest, my wife was missing. I thought her dead. So I wasn't going to be repopulating the world with demons either. So I just left for a time.
How magnanimous.
Yes, it was. I left all the other races alone, those who didn't get in my way. Satyrs, whatever you are. And he'll sort of make a motion towards Zanza.
He's a Taeleer.
What? They're... Okay.
It's one of the new races. They're a bunch
No,
of
but they're giant
bunch of
slut
bunnies.
bunny rabbits. That's a...
Yeah, they're
You know what? Never mind. I don't care.
fun. But
They're
they're
great.
fun.
Yeah, but... He just, like, waves a hand and says, like, I don't want to deal with your shit.
Aw.
And
never
turns
deal with
back
your
to Mary and says, the nearest I can figure, these giants come up every time a civilization falls over and clean up the mess. And the next one springs up to life, takes over the world, and gets itself killed off.
Wait, you didn't know about Taeleers.
I do know about a Taeleer. You don't look like one. Also, you're kind of mannish. Where are your
Why?
tits?
Wow, that's the nicest thing you've said all day today.
He's
Okay.
He is admittedly quite sensitive about the fact that, his race is definably feminine, despite the fact that his father's a Minotaur and his Schwanson is huge.
That's not the issue right now, Kreshia. Well,
Just filling in the blanks. Got to build the social profile.
what about the other races? Surely there's some race that exists that you actually like.
I like demons, but then I'm bringing them all here.
Oh my god. Why do you like... You know what? I'm not even going
Why
to
do I
ask
like
that.
demons? My wife said demon, you dick.
Hey,
Okay,
speaking,
what? Surely there
speaking
is...
of your wife, how did she come back from the dead? Normally, you need like a god or divine energy, and it seems like she's kind of demonic.
Funny story about that. See, it turns out the elves couldn't figure out how to kill her. She's actually quite powerful. So they did the next best thing and split her soul and her body and hid them away from each other. Close enough, I guess. Skeza here found her and let her go.
Ah. I
That
guess
was nice.
Nice of her. So,
It was.
My mother
It was
did a
part
very
of the
nice
reason
lady.
I agreed to help them in the first place.
huh.
Okay. So there's no races that currently exist that you have any favor for beside the demons.
He just
But
shrugs.
But considering how you actually care about Merisiel, I can at least say that you're somewhat of a family man, yes?
Well, I don't know, kid. I did genocide at least 2 races over my family, so yes. Rather protective.
I'm trying to ignore that fact. Merisiel is a very kind-hearted soul. She cares about this world. Just as a casual favor for your obvious massive power, don't you
sounds
think
like a
you could
big-
help save the world for her?
That sounds like a big favor.
Maybe even just dial it back. Could you just not genocide the world for your family instead? Like, frankly, I'm pretty sure I've got an awesome lead on the whole end of the world thing. It's a work in progress.
If all your complaints have been about how societies are just trash, wouldn't it be like, I don't know, something you want to have one of your family members leading them into a better path? You know, trying to create instead of destroy?
And also not hating you for the genocide
We
thing.
were trying to do that,
Yeah.
and then she had to leave.
Yeah, for the whole stopping a genocide deal. Is that, not an okay consideration that the end of the world might get really fucking awkward if everyone here who isn't a demon just hates your guts for the whole genocide thing? Like, I can imagine that immortality would get really old.
Well,
Look, all I'm
Well,
doing is
y'all-
speeding things along for shits and giggles. All the races I'm gonna kill off are gonna die anyway.
Yeah, what if they don't? I'm pretty sure I've got a good lead. I think we're pretty
But
great at
they
this.
will. And even if they don't, I don't like them very much.
well,
So close.
yeah, have you given them a chance then?
I did. Then I got
Like-
stabbed in the back. Again.
You gave one person a chance. That's not
I gave a
ridiculous.
lot of people a chance, and one of them stabbed me in the back.
What
There's a
about all the people who didn't?
They didn't stop her.
Oh my god.
Honestly, I think they were probably in on it. Or else certainly didn't mind that the dread Lord Winter got his comeuppance once and for all.
Mister, it seems like you've got a
No,
very big complex.
Not
Like,
really.
You really want to be a victim here,
No.
but you kind of bring it on yourself.
To use
I
a
want to say
phrase
that-
from when I was a child, they started it.
Awesome.
Zanza starts
I
banging
want
at
to
him.
say something here.
Sure, tiny goat creature.
Nobody knows about you.
Some do.
Nobody knows about your involvement. It's the ones that actually know that you have existed are few and becoming fewer.
It's true. A lot of people thought you were a
George.
myth.
They still think so.
Yeah.
Like the whole everyone is just screaming, "Oh, genocide this, genocide that, genocide this." Like nobody is here anymore. Nobody. It's so few that still remembers that we're even there.
I
Okay.
mean, that really doesn't
Who's
excuse
there?
anything.
I don't know where you're going with
It
this.
doesn't. It doesn't excuse, but who's there to excuse that?
I mean, what if she's
Like
on?
his anger was for his family. They killed his wife. That's a very horrible thing to do.
Add your breathing on
And
your
he
mic
used
just a
his
little bit.
position to completely, as bad as it sounds, get the revenge until his, burning hatred cooled off.
Not fully following.
That right now, yeah, but right now we don't have. You sit here saying like, "Oh, I will take over the world," and so what?
Oh, he doesn't want to take
It would
over. He
just
wants to
be-
just wipe out all the races.
No. Yeah, but when all the races are wiped out and he takes over,
I'm not
and
gonna
everything, he'll
take
be the only
over.
one here.
That's silly.
That's effectively what. You will be the only one here.
Nah, there'll be
That's
plenty of
effectively
people
taking
left.
over.
You know, I bet the next ones up are going to be the kobolds. It's about time those poor little bastards had their time in the sun.
That's the first
Yeah,
thing you said.
God,
that's
you know
kind of-
what? Yeah. Sure.
Oh.
Hard to disagree with the kobolds. Kind of do earn it. They're
But
great.
Cole, what if we, fucking, I don't know. What if we help the kobolds become to societal prevalence? If you helped us from,
Well, that's how would we possibly do that?
I don't know. At this
fucking-
point, I'm just bargaining for anything.
We
And if you
already
want to
ha-
tear your
I mean-
civilization down yourselves and put the kobolds up, that's fine. I don't care. You're all going to get killed by giants. That's my
That-
point.
I bet you we won't.
Still to
But you
Still
will.
to get rid of the giants.
No? Right, awesome. We'll just figure out a way to stop it.
I think at this point,
You
that's
ever
not
heard
the
of the
optimism.
dragon goddess of magic?
You don't think, perhaps, that she might be the one responsible for all this?
Sure, I'm gonna have a fucking chat with her. It'll be fine.
just like
Gonna-
we had, it
gonna-
was fine
gonna-
with the chat we had with Lord Winter, right?
Hey, it's still a work in progress.
Really? I don't think it is.
Yeah, I'm not seeing a situation where we come away from this discussion with anything but complete disgust for all of the terrible things this guy has done.
Agreed.
Look, I don't care if you find me to be disgusting. A lot of people have called me a lot worse, and frankly, it's probably well deserved. But I'm offering you a choice, all of you, if only for Merisiel and Kaelin's sake. This castle, this fortress, will survive what comes. If you want to stay here and live, by all means. That's all that matters, is that you survive. Hell, bring your friends and family. There's plenty of room.
You fucking wouldn't accept my family.
No, not your family. Fuck them. But the rest of you,
Mary.
Yes?
Mary,
I mean, this is I'm
yes,
This is
Mary. Let's talk. Your friends seem very interested in making some sort of deal with me. They say it would be a favor to you not to ease the suffering of your races on their way out. That sounds boring to me, but what do you think? You too, Kaelin. Do you really care so much about these people that you'd let them suffer out an ignominious end? Or would you rather let them go out fighting? That's what I'm offering.
I think it's ignominious.
Shut up.
Okay.
Well,
Yeah, it's probably a mini.
I think we should, well, frankly, personally, I think we should try to undo this mistake and stop the world from being, our civilization from being knocked over and burned. We started this mess. We should try and do everything we can to stop it. Maybe then, maybe if we do stop it, then blow the hell out of that throne so it doesn't happen again. And if that dragon did start all this, fucking put her in the ground too.
Well, you've got balls, I'll give you that.
oh god, I nearly said something really amazing.
I mean, at this point, manners have gone out the window.
Yes, I like to have a
Well,
nice
we're still
casual
manners.
chat. The kneeling thing was just for funsies, let's be honest. I lived a little too long to be a stickler for decorum. Now, Merisiel, you want to end this cycle of destruction and rebirth, but look at the hobgoblins. I allowed them to flourish in this 1,000 years of having no successor state to the elves, and look what they've done. They've caused endless suffering and pain across 2 continents. Your own kingdom is falling in on itself to corruption, racism, hatred. Is it really that much better than just making way for the next? Your civilization wasn't meant to exist. But it does.
That's not true.
Oh, but it is. Every time this has happened before, whoever destroys a previous race takes over.
At
I
what point we're thinking?
stepped aside in the cycle, and look what happened. The world managed to go even into worse of a state of shit.
And what point does anything improve if all that happens is that we keep resetting and making the same mistakes? We can't even learn from our past, and what's the point?
The point is that life keeps on going. Over and over. Glorious, violent, delightfully horrible. And then it's snuffed out. And the next thing comes.
Like more time to change things without, having to do it at the end of a fucking blade.
Well,
If all of these races keep getting pulled into place by the acts of violence, then it's kind of inevitable that the cycle's going to repeat, surely.
Of course. As it has and always will.
Right? And it, might not if you don't actually try and be the next person to do the genociding.
Like I said, the giants are gonna do that one way or the other. I'm just
Sure,
here
and
for
that's
fun.
one person we can stop, or at least endeavor to do so. You say you wanted to offer the people a chance to stand up and die fighting. They'd probably rather do that against the giants than other races that have ever been here. These heralds of the new time coming. They'd much rather fight for that than knowing that the armies they fight against are because fuck it mind as well.
Uh, yeah, but that's
Let's
fun.
put it this way. For you, it's a fucking shit show for everybody else.
But
You
they're
know
all
what
gonna die any. No, I feel like we've had
Exactly.
this
Yes,
argument
we are.
before.
We are. In the ways of
This
cyclical acts. This is a very cyclical conversation now.
You know what
Has
I think?
You can spin it how you want. You're just doing it because you fucking can.
You know what I think?
Sorry,
I think
language
you
again.
do
My
have
bad, Frida.
faith in. I think you do have faith in civilizations. You know within your heart that if your civilization lasts long enough, it will actually evolve and grow past its mistakes and become something good. And you don't want that to happen because then you have no justification for being the sorry sack of shit that you are.
And now we get to the crux of it. So, would one of you like to roll Persuade or any other charisma-based skill you can
Yes.
justify with advantage
Yes.
from your friends?
Goat.
yes.
All right, the goat will make the check.
Don't forget bardic inspiration.
Yes.
Fucking fingers crossed.
I'm just gonna say this in the terms of no matter how we look at it, both the past, the present, and the future are connected, as you say, in this cycle. But the life that we put into this world doesn't happen by itself. It's something that we actually need to do. We need to take responsibility for our action, our choices that we do. If we hide down in this castle, all we're doing is running away. We're letting destruction just reign over because why not? We're not taking any responsibility at all. And if we keep just looking at it, look at them, look at their suffering, look at them how they cry. Look at all the pain that we put into this world. That's gonna come back to us. Our behavior should match our thoughts and actions. If we give kindness to this world, if that's what we do, that's what's gonna happen. That's our action in life. And if we keep looking backwards, we cannot live in the present. And then we have nothing to look forward to in the future. All that we do, all the work that we put in, no matter how long it takes, is the reward. Because all effort pays off in the end. Even if it's not going to be a world that we are going to see, the effort that we put in will stay there. It will grow and it will teach others how to make a better life for their families, their loved ones, everyone else. We want to see our world live, and we want to see the end of this stupid, senseless violence and death. Okay. I'll
Yeah.
roll persuasion.
Make your roll.
Also use advantage.
And Bardic.
And then Snake Eyes.
Come on, hail Satan.
No, it's advantage.
That's a real shame.
19. I mean, yeah, it could be better, but it could also be a lot worse. So, Lord Winter leans back in his throne and crosses his other leg over the other. Sort of thinks for a moment and says, "Well, wasn't that touching? Look, little goat. I tried to give the elves their chance, to make amends for their mistake. The reason, long ago, that they tried and failed to kill Ereshka was an act of malice, pure and simple. They didn't understand demons. They wanted to kill them just because of the name they bore, the powers they have. I stood up for them once. Ended badly. Someone, after that, stood up for the humans, said they were innocent bystanders, that it was the elves who really mattered, that humans were more understanding, able to adapt and change their views, that they could be taught. I ignored her and swept them aside. Now a group of heroes came and said that life itself was worth preserving. This world, that what was in it was good. I thought to myself, yes, this world has shown me that there can still be kindness in it, that they can give me back what was taken from me. And then an elf shoved a staff blade into my ribs and reminded me that ultimately, when they get down deep inside their black little hearts, everybody, human, elf, goat, bunny, minotaur thing, all of us deep down are just evil, twisted little things, concerned only with our own random impulses, our desires for food and safety and fucking. This hope that you can improve civilization, I tried that and it's not true. It's not true! Every time I try, it just ends in sadness and failure.
And so what? You just sit here like a petulant child and say it all has to end?
Sure. Why not? You don't get it, do you, kid? If this world ends, another takes its place.
Sure, but it isn't our world.
No,
And
it's not,
to-
because yours sucks. It's awful. It's shit. Everything in it is made of evil and wickedness, and it's time to start over.
Stay out of it, man.
Then why do you care?
Yeah, stay out of it. Leave it to us.
It's that simple. If you didn't care at all, why say anything? Why do anything?
Alright,
You could have sit here quietly, have nothing said, and
You
we
could have
would
just
have
sat
lost.
here and been happy with your wife. In peace.
Yeah. But something in you, something made you do this. Something made you call out. You can call it whatever you want. You can call it a sick sense of humor. I don't believe it. Because as much anger as you're trying to say that you have, as much hatred that you say you have, you still refuse to give up on that tiny, tiny spark of hope. and you're just getting angry that people are still trying to ignite that in you. And I'm sorry. I'm really sorry that people have hurt you. I'm
not.
really sorry that you have felt such sorrow and betrayal in your life. You deserve better. You championed for good, and those you trusted betrayed you.
Championed for good. You genocide races for the sins of a few. You deserve every shred of misery that's in your black shredded heart.
And there's the truth of it, isn't it? I've always wondered that myself. Hey, get away from me, you strange giant of a man.
Oh, well,
Gay for Paladin, huh?
to be honest, I'm not as vehement as Zanza and not as forgiving as Frida. I'm just human. But since I'm I'm the only living human, and apparently they betrayed you at some point, on behalf of 100% of humans, we're sorry. What do you say? Bring it in. Bring it in. Nobody's too strong to accept a big, strong, manly hug here. Come
Oh
on.
my god, he's a genius.
Wow.
We're sorry. Come on, let's hug it out. Hug it out.
On behalf of all
Bring
the
it in.
humans,
I'm only human after all! Oh my god!
Alright, roll persuade again. Still advantage.
on behalf of
Shit,
every-
Bardic
Dude,
him!
you get. Bardic.
Ah!
Wow.
Can't roll above 10 this session.
Well, you have a
Roll a
D8.
D8.
You can turn it into a good number.
Ah!
No, he's not.
The pain. It's like a stab to the gut every time.
Savin, we're trying really hard!
I look, all I can do is give you advantage and make it a low target number. Alright, so Lord Winter just sort of looks up at you, and then he stands up from his throne. His plate armor creaks. And he puts a hand on your shoulder, Marcus, and he says, "For what it's worth, I didn't have anything against humans. I don't want a hug, though. That's kind of creepy.
Ah. Don't
Your
feel like that.
race's death was an unfortunate side effect, and if it makes you feel better, I've had 1,000 years of being guilted over it by Lady Rowan here's daughter, who had the gall to stand up for them and died repeatedly, trying to save your race. If you ever see her, you should give her a thank you."
Well, I certainly appreciate that you felt bad about it. I don't know if that actually fixes anything, but nevertheless,
No, but
like I said, we forgive you too. It's fine.
there's a long moment's pause, and Lord Winter just sort of scratches his cheek and says, "And no, I've never been forgiven for genociding an entire race. That's a new one."
Written my teeth so hard to not shout out "you shouldn't be."
Well, it's too late to put the eggs back in the basket. The omelet's made. We just have to move on and look to the future. Something I suspect an immortal would have a lot of practice doing.
You know, if you bred with Amazons, you could a little late for that. Never mind.
Yeah, that wouldn't work for a couple of reasons. Anyway, so what do you say? Why don't you let your granddaughter and her friends out to try their best to stop the giants? If we can't, well then you get to say I told you so when she comes back.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I'll swear on that. If we can't stop it, fuck, I'll come back here.
Alright, so Winter goes and sits back down, looks at you all with a amused glint in his eye, and he says, For the sake of argument, and I'll admit I'm enjoying myself a little bit more than I have any right to, let's say you do stop these giants, then what? Your
Then
civilization
society.
keeps spiraling down into the gutter, the hobgoblins still exist, your kingdom's falling into a racist cesspit of violence and hate.
Well, I don't know if you knew this or not, but we have in our presence 2 princesses, so they'll eventually take the throne and they can enact positive change.
I
Well, one of
I
them
can't.
is heir to a backstabbing bitch, and the other is actually very far away from taking the throne, so...
Yeah, I'm not.
Yeah,
I'm
that's
not.
not happening for either of us. But
You know.
what we want to do is
I mean, I could murder all of your family and then make that happen.
no. Table that one. I kind of feel as well that you lose a lot of your social and economic impact if you get there by next level regicide and family killing.
God, what if we get? What if we were to get? Oh man, what if we were to get your mom to come over here and actually apologize for what she did? Oh man.
I don't think it would add an apology.
Yeah, I know.
At the same time, I'll pause and go. I can promise I'll talk to my mother about this and see what can be done. I know that Marcus here can apologize for humans. I don't have the authority to do so for elves, but I don't know. If
You
it's
know.
any kind of
Your mother is the queen of all elves now, isn't she? All, like,
Correct.
what, 1,000 of you there are left?
2,332 at last count.
Well, good luck with your population count, but I'll tell you what. And Kreshia, go ahead and make me a persuade check with perpetual advantage.
Okay. Please, dice, just at least do me
Dice.
this solid.
Dice. I still
Thank
have one
you.
left.
All right,
All
Bart.
right. How about a crit?
Can you make it a 30?
Yes,
You
I can.
Okay, wow.
Holy
What if
damn.
I max out both those
Fuck.
dice?
Shit,
All right.
fuck.
Well, congratulations on winning a skill challenge.
Finally.
So Winter will think for a moment. He says, "All right. For my family's sake, I'll make you a deal, Princess Kreshia of the Elves. If you bring your mother here and have her kneel before me and apologize for all the wrongdoings elvenkind has thrust upon me, and also for stabbing me in the back like the bitch she is. Yourself, tiny midget. If
Zanza, for fuck's sake.
she does all that, I'll call off the orcs. For now. If the giants win, though, I'm going to be very disappointed in you. Because then I have to feed them all.
Alright. Deal.
We should just use our airships and just drop bombs on all the giants.
Dun, 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 dun.
Oh,
Nah, I don't really... As well, likewise, I feel like trying to genocide the giants is also not the answer. Remember, we want to do this differently.
Okay. Normally, okay, look. Okay. Genocide
Depends on
bad.
if the
How
giants
is
are-
that one not bad, though? The
I
giants
mean,
are trying
it would be nice though if we could solve it.
Depends on if the giants are an actual race or some magical construct meant to actually wipe away civilizations. Just
I have
saying.
no idea.
That's true.
Look,
suppose
don't blame
here's a-
the cosmic janitors for doing their jobs.
Yeah, I
Don't
don't.
do that.
Yeah. But Scruffy gonna die the way he lived.
I have, if anything, I have at least this last thing to say to you. For all your longevity, your approach to civilizations is positively insane. That's dictionarily insane, actually. You keep complaining about how civilizations don't learn and they just spiral into chaos and yada yada yada. You never give them a chance to live past through their prime, and you just keep destroying them or helping their destruction.
I destroyed one. and it was an
2.
asshole.
Just-
You
Look,
destroyed at least
all
2.
the civilizations that came before that just killed themselves. It's what civilizations do. It's a cycle, a vicious cycle. A civilization rises, it gets too big, someone new and better comes along, knocks it over, they become the dominant civilization. Giants
maybe
give way
if-
to spiders, give way to elves, give way to you fucks.
And maybe if one civilization can actually live long enough to learn past its mistakes, maybe a civilization will pop up that doesn't repeat the sins of the past.
Sure, or maybe you'll destroy the world so that nobody else can come in after you. You know, I
If you're
heard
s-
about this giant bomb that went off. Now magic is fucked
I'm gonna put it.
for
I'm gonna put it
miles.
out there. It was amazing.
My point is,
See,
if
you're
so
proving
intent-
my point, princess.
My point is, if you're so intent on genocide, the least you could try is to guide a civilization for once and see what happens then. You have plenty of time, and it's not like it matters to you one way or another.
Zanza, give me a persuade check.
That's a good question. Yeah, why don't you help us, like, guide our civilization?
Now,
Yep, dice are,
Oh.
dice are being dice.
Every time.
It's been a lot of 14 and 12s.
yeah,
today.
there really has been, Jesus. Alright, so
Also,
Winter will
Yeah.
the Winter will sit there for a moment, he'll consider, and then he'll like take off one of his big plate gauntlets and set it on his lap, and he rests his bare, like cream pale hand on the Demon Queen's head and just runs it through her hair.
Come on,
And
Lord.
looks at you, Zanza, and he says, "You know, there's an element of truth in what you say. After all, the cycle was broken by my leaving after I destroyed the elves, not taking my demons and setting us up as the new successor state, as every race before had done. I mean, clearly by your logic, I should just go conquer the world, but I understand that's not what you were intending. Of course not.
Not exactly, but at least it would be better than wiping out entire races.
Mm-hmm.
Would it, though? Would it?
I mean,
Yeah.
just think about it.
Yeah. It would suck. Don't do that.
Shush. I'm a fool, and even I know that the only way to improve something is to change it. If genociding races just leaves way for another crappy race to come back open, obviously that's not the answer. Even if you had a maniacal rule and took over the world, I'm sure that if you could help introduce demons and other monster races into harmony, things would take a turn for the better. I mean, hell, most of our races are monster races that learn to be civil and actually create civilizations. So obviously there's a chance for something to change more than what it's been before. Maybe these crappy civilizations you complain about are just the first stage, and that once they get past it, things will actually be better.
Right. Zanza, make another persuade check. Advantage.
Dice. I don't trust you, Dice. Better.
Hey. So Lord Winter will sit there a moment and he'll slowly nod and say, "Well, that's something to think about, I guess. Just taking over the place hadn't really occurred to me, which, over the last 1,000 years, is actually kind of surprising. Well, you know, I used to be the Prince of the Elves. I would have ruled eventually, but, well, you all know how that turned out. Still, I never wanted the throne in the first place.
Then
I
put
found
people
myself-
who are capable of
Wouldn't-
I found myself more drawn to the life of a knight-errant, riding the countryside, righting wrongs, and saving beautiful damsels from lynch mobs." And as he says that, he strokes Arishka's hair up to one of the horns.
Then put people in charge who will actually do the job. You seem to think you're a good judge of character. Then find people who actually have faith and have the belief and skills to change something, and let them do their job.
Does anyone else have anything they'd like to add to that?
Yeah, I mean, the reality is that Arena now has at least a conglomerated queenship. We've gone through the process of trying to educate ex-war veteran bandits to a better side, and actually there are a number of like legitimate encounters that should have turned to violence with monsters where all we did instead was trade like, you know, food and drink and ask them to like do less bad shit and carry on our merry ways. Like
Even
there
though
is absolutely a place for a government in and of itself to spread and to flourish and to involve more people and give more people a chance.
Even though I
Honestly-
absolutely don't agree with the means, you already have the positions and people put in place to topple a government. Why not just turn those resources into bettering it? It's purging out the imperfections rather than destroying the whole thing wholesale.
Yeah, our
You have so much power and capability. You could be making things so much better.
All right, Zanza, give me another persuade check. So I'll say this from a Jesus Christ, from a mechanical standpoint. You've opened up a second skill challenge. The party already won the first one. This is going to be something else. All right. Yeah. So when he's just sitting in his throne, he seems to be thinking right now. Anybody could jump in if they so desired.
I mean,
No, I'm going to give him a moment to mull.
you're a you care so much about your family. Some of your family's done a lot to try and better our world. I mean, just look at Mom. She toppled an empire and built a new nation. If she was doing a good job of, you know, corralling people. If she got to return, maybe sit back on her throne, perhaps she could help us beat down the new fledgling issues that we have started trying to get rid of. Our country started out just was forced together, and it's got a lot of problems with certain groups of people not liking the other one because one was mean to the other one. But we're taking steps to fix those, and Mom was the strongest and most loudest voice in that. She would be good to go back to that and fix problems again.
All right, Mary, make a persuade check. Advantage, etc.
Alright, come on, Mary. Don't fall into the same problem. You did not. Boom. Almost
Boom.
crit.
Thank you,
Alright.
Snagglepuss.
So, out of curiosity, in this
Yeah.
the second skill challenge we've opened up here, the Lord Winter goes out and takes over the world skill challenge. Do you want to put this gigantic success into him taking over the world or him not doing that?
Well, it depends on how he's going to take over the world. If
I
he
thought
does
it was for
I'm
getting
asking
him
Mary.
Yeah, I thought
didn't
that this
realize
was
you were-
taking a part in government.
Well, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Stupid as it is, Zanza, if he does around it the right way and becomes a hero with all the massive resources he has, him taking over the world can actually be a positive thing if he does it the right
I
way.
cannot believe I'm actually in a group that is trying to convince the possible big bad to actually take over the world.
Take over
This
the
is
world
the
and be
best
a
thing that has
force.
ever
I
happened to me
have
as a DM.
never
I'm happy as
thought
can
this was
be.
going to happen.
And the
Holy
worst part
shit.
is the one who's making this idea the most is the one who absolutely hates his guts the most.
I know, that's what's most baffling
Okay.
about it.
But at the same time, it's a really,
Well,
in its own way,
it's
it is
kind-
ingenious. Like he
This
is
kind of
actually.
this is a
If the
really
whole-
compelling. This is a very compelling line of story that we've stumbled into.
I'm tempted
Yes.
to end character push the point forward.
Yes.
It's like, look,
If you
Just to
go,
point out something,
yeah,
he's still alive.
is Winter
He
alive?
is still...
I mean,
No,
kind of,
he's still
sort of
alive.
not.
He is the actual blood heir to the throne of elves.
Zanza will
Yes.
go, look, if you go about it the right way, and actually trying to be nice to the people and be a guiding force with your power, I'm sure things can take a massive turn for the better. The cycle could be broken, and even if they stumble, don't directly punish them with genocide right away. Let them learn from their mistakes. People can improve, you just have to give them the time. It may take more than a century or two.
Goodness knows you'll live long enough to see it.
Some of
I'll
us
blink
are
and look at Zanza. Wait, are we vouching for some kind of eternal overlord of peace?
It
Look,
does sound like you are.
Look, he's made it clear
It's
that he
got
doesn't
merit.
exactly want
I
to
mean,
take
sometimes people need to be told what to do. Because, look, let's face it, a lot of people are kind of stupid.
Look, Lord Winter's
resemble
already
that remark.
expressed the interest that he doesn't really have
Yep,
the
very
want
so.
to take over the world directly. And at this point, I believe it. He just needs to be a driving force to help people who should be in power get in power. A hero and a knight don't directly rule over the courts, but they certainly help in protecting it. It's kind of like that. Frankly, I hate you, Lord
Out of
Winter.
character, you're fucking brilliant.
Frankly,
This is
Lord
the
Winter, I
Kinathis.
absolutely
Oh my
loathe
God.
you. I detest you and hate your guts, but I only do that because you're so casual and careless about how you view humanity and all the civilizations under you. I want you to give them a chance.
Maybe the best thing is a guiding hand, yeah.
If you have the capability to wipe out to genocide entire civilizations so casually, you certainly have the ability to improve them as well.
So what? You think people would respond well to an army of demons marching out not to conquer and enslave as they so fear, but to reform their government and lead them into a golden age of abyssal philosophy and
You already proved.
I mean, I imagine there's going to be a lot of people who are initially going to be very skeptical, so it's probably got some huge growth pains down the line, but
Generations
Yeah.
change.
yeah,
Generations
probably.
generations change with every new child, and even though the old might not take to it, the young certainly will. Be subtle and careful.
I would suggest building orphanages. People love orphanages.
It's true, we're going to work on one ourselves. Frida's
You
the
think
genius
they
for
would
that.
they would give their children to a demon? Ari, would you like to become a mother for a new race of catfolk raised by demons to understand tolerance and understanding of all peoples? The demon queen just looks
That's-
up with a smile and says, "There's a certain ring to that, isn't there?"
If the demons don't go around burning villages and drinking blood or something, then I see no reason why demons couldn't integrate into society. In fact, they should if they're reasonable and kind-hearted people, and anybody who has something against them should be ashamed.
You're damn right they should. Where the hell were you 1,000 years ago?
Zanza will actually just shrug.
Look, the only reason why I hate anyone or anything is because of the disrespect they have towards life and the opportunity it gives. If somebody is judgmental against somebody and they have no reason to be so, then I think that's wrong. And if you think that's wrong, then you should be using your power to help change that, rather than just wiping the slate clean every time.
Eh,
Alright, I guess, who wants to make a persuade check here? One final one to top us off.
Frida, I believe in you. For the
All right,
Frida
now,
orphanage.
just so you're aware, Frida, if you want to make the check here, you're pushing Lord Winter here towards eternal Nazi vampire overlordship.
Nazi vampire or demon overlord.
That is literally
Oh my God.
what the party is pushing Lord Winter towards.
I'm so intrigued.
Yeah,
I can't. I
like
can't
to
look
to,
away
to what
from this
Adj is
train
saying,
wreck.
like, yeah, this is why I've mentioned the chat, like, just so we're clear, this is what you're doing, right? You understand what's happening here. But okay, I mean, yeah, if you want to make the check, you can, or if someone who actually wants to push towards fucking vampire Valhalla here.
He rather decides to take over the
Yes,
world.
that's the thing. That's the thing. That's the thing. I see the merit in, like, the government, because over here we have a similar style, but, like, we try to teach people, we try to make sure people are well informed, educated, etc. Like, we already got this shit, but we don't have the eternal part or the Nazi part. So it's literally what you're saying that you want to infuse is a social powerhouse.
Look, man, he rather
By
helps.
single. Yes, but that's the thing. That's the
takes-
view of it.
He tries to take
It
over the world and
works.
helps us stop it from ending, and then maybe becomes a benevolent ruler, eternal ruler, or he doesn't, and he just fucks off, and we're on our own Shit Creek style. I'm gonna be honest, I kind of see more the merits of eternal.
That's an amazing analogy. Give it back his ring. Oh god. Yeah, I mean, I see on one side we've got end of the world. On the second side we've got some awful growing pains, but then eventually some
Eventually,
kind of
society
tolerance
reaches
throughout society.
maybe a peak of utopia.
In order to even
But
out those
that's-
growing pains, is it possible to, instead of like immediate overlordship, instead enter in on the diplomatic field in governance?
Well, Zanza was
shared governance.
That's what Zanza was
Yeah,
suggesting.
I mean,
He said he's
Yeah.
been insidious with how
ease
he's
it in.
He's okay. Look, Lord Winter already has infiltrated the fucking government from what we've seen. There's no reason why he can't play the long
He
con,
did
do that, and start taking over peacefully. People won't even fucking realize.
That's right. You did this to yourself. You could have prevented this. This is what's going to happen, but it's instead going to be glorious vampire Nazi future.
People
You have to
won't
admit,
even
you have
fucking.
to admit, they'd never see it coming.
They never see it fucking coming, and then you just slowly start.
You don't even need to add. You don't even need to add Nazi to it. That's the thing.
Jesus fuck! First I start the Inquisition, and now this. What the fuck is my life?
All right, I'm just gonna
it's-
clear off the
Yes.
the current skill challenge token here. Let's start a new one
I'm
here.
gonna push for it.
So,
Yeah.
you guys have succeeded the skill challenge to like say Winter, hey, you know what? You should just take over. It'll be great, or at least like enter more into the world. Now we're gonna have the skill challenge of does Lord Winter become the vampire overlord of the world, or does he try to like peacefully, insidiously guide his hand into the world as some sort of vampire Illuminati?
Fuck, man, we're all or nothing now.
Wait a second, isn't this actually the technical list for like the actual government that would work is people with the idea that they're a democracy but with an intelligent leader in the background?
Yes, fucking
Guided
fucking-
democracy.
Yeah,
Guided
managed
aren't
democracy.
we literally like I fucking vote guided democracy. Are you kidding?
We're going Metal Gear here, all the way through.
Yeah.
Let's push.
Fuck yeah!
Yeah.
Can I own one
Buckle
of the PMCs? That'd be dope.
Buckle up, motherfuckers.
Buckle up, motherfuckers. We're going all in.
Sav&D4 is gonna literally be like just Mage Punk Metal Gear.
Oh my god, that sounds amazing.
Well, I
So
know,
sounds
right? we can
Yeah,
have the Bleaksworthy PMC. I'd be happy with that to be a thing that turns
So
up.
I'm a little
Okay, so
curious
I-
here.
Hold on, let me set up the tokens for this challenge. So this is going to be the Winter Nazi Reich token over here, and then
Jesus.
we have
That's
the
right.
let's see, the Illuma Winter on the other side. These are the choices you have brought us to.
It's Lord Bonatti Winter.
The Illum.
I'm so fucking sorry, Ad. You're not even wrong, but we're all in at this point.
Oh my
This
god.
is not
I don't want to, look.
this is not how
and
I
also
expected this session to go at all. Jesus Christ! All right.
I
I just thought, I'm sorry.
I thought that the cards was succeed, skill, challenge, get out alive, and try and avert world crisis, or TPK. This was, this was an option 3. I didn't know we could tick the box for.
We are so far off the map right now.
The situation is as off reservation as one could possibly get.
Look, Marcus.
And
Look,
we
Ed.
have
We're
We
in that little
have
area of the map that says
Sonic
Here be
Shoe.
dragons.
the OC. We have Sonic Shoe, the OC here. Get ready for it.
Yeah. Seriously, if you guys want to take a minute, out of character to discuss what the fuck's going on
Adjatha,
here,
I'm fucking sorry, okay?
let's take that moment here as a group to decide if we want to, fully push Lord Winter here into becoming the world overlord.
Okay, sure. Let's go out of character here, so I don't have to keep typing this. DCL, can you give me a good reason why Zanza would transform from the biggest opponent of necromancy into trying to convince the largest, most dangerous, most indicative exemplar of necromancy that he could really lead everyone to a better future? Can you give me one reason in character why that seems like a good idea right at the moment?
In character, Zanza knows right now that we cannot fucking fight him, even though he is absolutely furious. And
We
the
don't
thing
have
that
to
is-
fight him right now. He was going to agree to let us try to end the world, and then we'll be level 20, and we come back, and then we can fight him.
And the main thing that's pissing off Lord Zanza about Lord Winter right now is he basically sees this dick that has all this power. And instead of trying to do something benevolent, like maybe he had some high-minded reason why he thought that he had to wipe out races or in this romantic thing. And nope, it's just, I was kind of feeling like a dick that day, and I had the power to do so. And it's just like, why are you not trying to make things
It
better?
seems like that should disqualify him from this position, not
Oh, it
qualify.
totally...
I don't mean to be that guy,
No, you
but
can be
basically
that
you're
guy.
saying Trump is very successful at running his business. Surely he will be successful at running the country.
Man, son.
Damn.
I want to be that guy, but that's what you're doing.
You're not completely wrong. Okay, so Zanza's in-game logic is basically, Lord Winter, you're super capable. Instead of genociding races, maybe you start trying to help. Because ultimately, there's still the gods, right? Like, he's not going to be able to just do this alone. He's got to work with people and put people who actually care in charge. Because either way, it's rather that or he just starts trying to genocide a race anytime he feels like they betrayed him.
Which, to be clear, he's done twice now.
Fucking twice now. Honestly, I am definitely within the camp of trying
Once
to...
is an accident, twice is a pattern. I don't know, what?
Wait, twice?
Yeah, the elves and the humans.
The elves and the humans.
Oh no, the humans were at the same time as the elves, so that's
still twice.
It's
At
still
one
two
time.
races.
It's still twice. I still see
two races one time.
I still see Adjatha's point very clearly, and I am still within very much of the mind of trying to find a way to end Lord Winter permanently. But if he's even remotely right, and the problem is that races keep repeating the same patterns, maybe he's got some information to help start guiding people away from that.
So that seems like you should talk to him about re-entering the world as, a person, rather than this evil overlord who's bearing the grudges of 1,000 years ago. The fact that you're trying to convince him to go out and rule everyone forever is kind of a logical jump that I can't see Zanza ever arriving at, no matter how many blows to the head he took.
Okay, fair enough. we will try to move it. Yeah, we're definitely gonna have to. Okay, try to move it towards entering the world as a person. And it was just like, hey, you already got people in the government. Why not just try to be like, tell them to be nice and stop corruption instead of fucking taking people out from the inside. It was more
So
of
you want
a.
the Illuminati
so-
ending then.
It was more. It was more of an argument of you're already at X point. Why instead of choosing Y, you don't just do Z instead of that? That was a little short sighted because I was just like, hey, got people in, just make them do the nice thing instead of being the dick, since you've already taken things this far. It was kind of the mindset of since you're already the evil overlord, why don't you just try being the nice overlord for a change?
Because he's a vampire and he's killed 2 races because they annoyed him.
Yeah, that's the real reason why.
Well, I didn't annoy him, but I mean,
No,
I mean, look,
they
more than
literally
annoyed.
killed the one person he fucking loved.
I mean,
And
it does.
it
It doesn't justify him because he's still a fucking douchebag who has basically genocided entire races for slights against few people, and it's disgusting and it's horrible. And yeah, I want to, if the opportunity ever presented itself, try to kill him. But as Marcus was saying, you can't put the eggs back in the basket and let bygones be bygones. If we can't kill him for good, the only other best alternative is to try to direct him to be a force for good. If he's not going to go away, we might as well try to work with him, basically.
Okay, but that's what the last party in Sav&D 2 did, and he's still
Oh.
around and he's still being a huge asshole.
Is that actually what happened? Because I was not around.
Well,
so
that's what they tried
let's
to
let's
do,
go
but
through
they
the
sabotaged
events
it
of
actually the
Sav&D
last
2.
time.
Let me walk you through what happened.
Yeah.
The party went to Lord Winter, specifically Skeza did, and said, "Hey, the all life on this planet is going to be put to the torch by a giant dragon. Please help." And he was like, "Well, okay, you gave me my waifu back. Sure." Then the other half of the party at the same time went to the elves who he had genocided and said, "Hey, all that same thing. Please come help." So they did.
Mm-hmm.
Then the elven leader and her bodyguard and also Lord Winter were put in the same party. And then they went on a quest with the heroes to kill this like level 25 dragon. And then just as the dragon was about to die, the elven queen was like, well, Lord Winter got he took a fire breath directly to the face and was reduced to like 5 hit points.
Mm-hmm.
So the elven queen was like, I ain't getting a better chance than this, and she stabbed him in the back.
Understandable.
And so, of course, I didn't actually kill him. And so his little mist form fucked off into the vents, and he's back. And then everyone fought the dragon down, and then they convinced the dragon to basically just go away, except the dragon's a fucking psychopath who wants to end the world. So obviously he just went to Winter's house and burned it down and then died.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how 72 ended. Also, the actual main plot ended somewhere else, but that's what was happening in the background, is a dragon was freed and then went and burned Winter's house down because he really didn't like Lord Winter.
Okay. All right. So,
All in all, there was a series of bull droppings, and he has yet to actually not be entirely let down by the people.
Yes, literally every time Winter tries to do a good thing, he gets fucked. That is factually
someone-
correct.
so
Let
the
me also point out something. The main antagonistical factor in this entire equation, much like World of Warcraft, the problem lies with the elves.
Oh, don't bring that in here.
okay.
Get
Going
that
back
shit out of here.
Going back to Adjatha's argument. Taking a little bit of cue from Marcus when he's just like, forgive, forget, move past, forward on. And I understand that Zanza has a vehement hatred for this guy and still kind of does. The answer seems to at least be, for now, use his power to help save the world, or at least their world as they know it, from ending, and then try to handle everything after that comes. If Lord Winter, with all his armies and power, could kind of help stop that, then that's at least a net positive for now. And even though we might want to look for a way to kill him afterwards, or at least try to give him some check or balance from being betrayed and just throwing a hissy fit again, it would be probably better than fucking him just like rather not doing anything, or him just waiting for another chance to wipe out civilization.
I have an idea to potentially vouch,
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
and that's the idea that if he just starts with small steps, like in each case where these turnings have happened as well, they've been in the midst of some pretty grand gestures on multiple sides.
I mean,
Just
that's
step carefully.
initially, yes, Zanza is trying to petition more for, hey, put some people in the government, let some positive reforms happen, wait for generations to go. He wants
Baby
Lord Winter to do
steps.
the actual sensible long con, and maybe bring in some races that have troubled histories and unite them and be peaceful and happy.
In a perfect scenario, I could certainly see the value in that, but you're trying to pin all of your hopes and dreams
Until this
on
fucking
a
asshole.
benevolent overseer, on a self-confirmed asshole who doesn't care. You're
Yeah.
projecting something that he has just admitted he's not, and he's had thousands of years to prove him that he's anything other than that, and he's not. So
The only other
Well-
the only other bolster is that he said himself that he doesn't want to actually rule the world. So that's just like, we'll put people in charge who actually want to help, and then just fuck off. And that's all
Yeah,
you
that's why I
have to do.
suggested,
That's-
yeah.
oh, that's why you're doing a skill challenge to convince him to care about ruling the world.
Well, I was
This
trying to
isn't
give.
a skill challenge to like get nukes on our side turn one before we've encountered the giants at all. Like, this is very much a, hey, just rule everything. We know you don't want to, but just do it though.
Yeah,
Just at
basically.
least help. I was honestly arguing more from the side of positive reinforcement. Use your power to help. Use your power to.
All right,
Straight-
yeah,
it
like
still translates
both
into
of these
basic-
options are that, but the way you've been talking to Winter mostly has been like, you should just take over. The
Yes.
other
Yeah.
option is,
Yeah,
hey,
yeah.
you should
I'm-
use your influence in a positive way, and just like be a dude. Like that's what Marcus / Adjatha seems to be pushing for, is maybe just try not to be a giant piece of shit, Lord Winter. Can you do that? Maybe.
Yeah, let's push it. Let's push it a little bit more towards that, and then fucking either way, if Lord Winter continues his gigantic douche streak, we're gonna have to start looking for ways to kill him anyways. So you're right. We're just gonna have to move forward and try to push him towards being a nice guy.
I don't want to be a wet blanket here, but
No, it's fair. Let's push it towards him just re-entering the world as a person.
No, I mean you raise very sensible arguments.
Push him towards being a good guy and using his power for good and small
gotta-
step by steps.
Baby steps, man. You can't just go whole hog right away.
Baby
I
steps.
call-
And don't
it's like
wipe
that-
out.
it's
Never,
the- it's
never
the-
go full
It's the
Reaper.
it's the frog in the pot thing.
And don't
you
wipe
start
out.
off super hot, the frog jumps out.
And don't wipe out an entire civilization every time you feel like they fucked up.
you don't give the child a puppy after he's been pulling wings off of a fly. You let him take care of a hamster first, and if you can do that, then you can maybe move up the chain there.
You're right. Let's
Is
try
that
to.
really a thing?
In this, well, don't kids pull wings off of flies? Yeah.
I killed
But yeah,
a
Kids are just
hamster.
kids are little psychopaths, but some of them grow out of
Yeah.
it.
Well,
You're all
he's
I-
had 1,000
I-
years. I don't think he's gonna grow out of it.
God,
this point-
Hey, to
am
be
now
fair, he
suddenly
hasn't
remembered
committed
horrible
genocide in
things.
1,000 years either.
Yeah.
He's on a streak, a winning streak.
I mean,
Fallen off the wagon.
Days since
You
last
guys could
genocide, 999.
We're actually trying to consider him. We're actually trying to convince him to not fall off the wagon.
Yeah. At this point, his whole thing is every time I see a civilization, they're just scummy and crappy, and that justifies my eraser of their existence. So it's just like,
Okay.
hey, maybe let a civilization stick around and actually be good, and you help them out time to time when they start fucking shit up, instead of just hitting the
I would
eraser
like
button.
to add a factor into your all's mental calculations here.
Hmm.
He didn't have 1,000 years of like, oh fuck this, oh fuck that. He was, well, I killed 2 fucking races. The assholes that fucking murdered my wife are now some unfortunate
That's still really
other side race. Let me point out, he didn't do all that shit for like 1,000 years. He was just sitting. And then 50 fucking years ago, he got his thumb out of his ass and apparently woke up and be like, hey, I'm gonna see if I can find my wife for some fucking reason. Magical inclination, AJ Savin. You know,
And he'd been
finger of
trying.
God up his...
He just finally got to searching where you guys were.
Look, all right.
Yeah, so he literally has spent 1,000 years looking for his fucking wife. He hasn't been fucking murdering the world. Well, technically.
I mean, he does
So
want
he hasn't
to
been...
topple a nation just because someone like backstabbed him. So clearly he hasn't worked it all out of his system.
Yeah, but it's the same assholes he thought he killed off the first time that came back and stabbed him in the back again.
Also, okay, so two things. First, let me say off that this has been a day of DCL makes mistakes all fucking day. So I'm just gonna take the loss on this one and say you're right. But also, I want to say, shit, in character, people have been trying to fucking end this guy for thousands and thousands of years, and he's still kicking. At this point, you might as well try to direct him to not being a douche. So let's just direct him more to taking the baby steps. You know, maybe let's take over the world and more use your forces for good, because you got a lot of them. I mean, he could be his own fucking kingdom if you wanted. At this point, with like the military might he's able to amass and God knows what else. So let's just direct him towards baby steps, being a little bit nicer, giving people a chance, and not just wiping them off whenever they make a mistake. Let them wait out and see what happens if a generation can break the cycle, or if a civilization can break the cycle. So let's just push it towards that.
So what you're requiring is not extra strength winter, but mild winter.
Mild winter. Let's get some mild
winter.
Just a
It's
Texas
only a
winter
little-
instead of a
only
Canadian
little
winter.
frosty.
A Texas winter, which
It's
is
a
not
little nippy out there. That's all.
So let's just
On a
suggest
hat, maybe a light coat.
slowly re-enters the world. And you know, it's not like we won't be involved in this process.
I mean, hey, okay. So I mean, what if we do that? A great way to introduce him would be to fucking. We come back, we land in the fucking capital with the airship and the Empress in tow, and we just like boom, like the fucking grand heroes bring back the the Empress, and so we also have Lord Winter here, and he's decided he wants to help us out with all this shit.
No, that's not that's not, like baby steps. No.
Yeah, that would be a little too much.
I guess that wouldn't be baby steps.
Because he's still got
that grand gesture. No,
that's still got bad rumors about him.
Grand
I would say
don't work out very well.
I would say if you want to have a grand gesture, let him use his army to help save the world, and then maybe princesses start spreading the tale. Positive rumors happen, then he comes back, and maybe he starts helping in very small ways. And I guess the main problem would have to be having somebody to watch his back to make sure that when he gets stabbed, when somebody tries to make the inevitable stab, he doesn't go off the fucking wagon again. And then main characters going off in the background for looking for a nuclear winter button, so that way if winter does go crazy once again, we can fucking actually ace him. Because either way, we need time to figure that out.
Just to point out, we have a plan in the works. We have to
get that plan off the ground.
That's the thing.
We already did get it off the ground. It's in the background. Yeah, it's churning in the background.
Yeah, we haven't gotten that finished yet.
Yeah.
It's in the oven right now.
Yeah, so it's okay. That's a lot of things in the fucking oven.
There's a lot.
Look, Zanza didn't want to be here. Zanza didn't want to be here. Zanza thought this was a trap, or if at most this was not going to be conclusive or constructive at all. But the whole point of this campaign so far has been at least trying to redeem certain people and certain monster races and certain creatures, despite their histories. And it kind of fits the theme of Lord Winter, even though he's a massive fucking douchebag who should be not excused in character any of his crimes. But at this point, it's rather move forward with that or try to vindictively bring him to justice.
Look,
like
every time people have been like, fuck you. Every single time everyone's been like, fuck you, you did X, you need to fucking burn for doing X.
Oh, yeah,
Instead
that's
of,
also
and that's what causes all the problems. Instead of being like, you know what?
and
Okay,
Zanza even said it himself.
you can't
It's the
you can't change the past. So it's just like someone I mean, come on, someone has to fucking take that step and be like, okay, you know what? Let's try being nice and forgiving instead of, flipping off,
Marcus?
flying off the handle like Marcus did.
I mean,
Marcus that was the perfect that was like, oh my god, please, we need more of that.
that should ultimately Zanza even said himself, fucking the insanity is keep doing the same thing and expecting different results. If that is trying to kill Lord Winter or let him be in the background for this just to happen again, seems like it's just going to repeat, even though every cell in my body screams to just fucking kill him. You're right. Stupid. Zanza
Leave
is
the
at
past
least
behind,
trying to
kill if
make
you have
a
to.
positive change. I just need to turn down the take over the world angle, insidious take over the world angle, and be positive force, which ultimately will just be him taking over the world, let's be honest, but just baby steps.
So,
Okay.
baby steps, superhero. Okay.
Alright, so it sounds like I can delete the little skill challenge markers here. That the party seems unified in, like, pushing Winter towards maybe just being a little less of a douchebag and maybe, a little bit when people calm down, help out a little bit. Maybe, gently guide people towards being less shit in general.
Yeah,
That sounds about
basically.
right.
Yeah, I know I want to make entries into like the colleges of magic to understand this stuff literally more.
And
'Cause they've kind of been on that whole like war economy thing for a while now.
shush you. Zanza Zanza also wants to mention that if the demons really are our people who are misunderstood and being
They are.
and are being persecuted, he wants to be on that immediately to help that. So he'll start trying to also help plan out with that. That will be his.
Perhaps some ambassadors would help out.
Gotta fucking endless optimism train the campaign, basically.
Well, let me just point out, if you want optimism, guess what's on the head of a goat?
Wait, you've got the helm of happy thoughts.
The helm
Yeah,
of happy.
The helm of you can do it,
Oh my
guy.
God,
It's not
give
so
it
bad.
to Lord Winter.
Well, yeah, I give it to Lord
Put it-
Winter. That would make everything better.
Oh my god.
Just
The
ask
happy
him.
thought.
The hat of happiness, and you can do it, buddy.
Just ask him to wear that helmet, and when things get tough, instead of genociding a race,
When
the
things
helmet
get
on.
hard, this helmet
When
will
things get
make
hard,
you
put the
feel
helmet
better.
on and it'll make you feel better.
become the problem.
Oh my god.
But the best part is also, if he needs. Here's the thing though, there's always somebody who's happy and optimistic as well. That is a little goat
Yep.
that has an unending lifespan as well. He's not a vampire immortal, but he can live as long.
Be the balance.
Oh, it'll teach your grandmother to suck eggs. Guess who has a carefully wrapped egg with her?
Oh my
You
god.
have the
We're saving that.
Yes, we're saying the egg.
Oh,
This was actually I was going to use it for like the anger and hatred of the past symbolism to just focus it and then just smash it and then wipe it away. A visual symbolization there of the destruction of the hatred.
All right. So let's bring it back in character after that discussion. I think we're all on the same page again. So
all right. Zanza will be just small steps, Lord Winter. Work with people, start organizations and small charities, and try to bring about positive change on a subtle level. You're long lived and you should be wise enough to see the patterns of people, at least enough to know that people can also change and how to direct that to a positive way. be, be the defender so that they can grow past their immaturity and mistakes.
Let's let's take this one step at a time, little boy.
All right.
I want to see this elven queen here and apologizing for all the shit she's pulled on me.
That's gonna be dark. That's a well.
Yes,
I mean,
I'm going
we
to
have to
speak
start
to my mother.
Look,
Have a long talk.
a long talk in a locked room. I think a locked, warded room where she can't teleport out of.
She can't pull the fade away on me. So help me,
Yeah.
mother. I know that the goddesses pull this trick all the time. You're not fading out on me.
We need to have her tied
Missed
down.
Dimensional lock. Misty
You-
step.
Dimension locker. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like, I've got dimension door. I too can pull the fade away.
Even though I can completely understand why she made the attempt, she should at least apologize for breaching her honor and the promise.
Some people just don't know how to let go.
Indeed, I believe.
No,
We're
I mean,
looking
my
at the
God,
primest
I mean-
example of not really being able to let go.
I mean,
I will talk with her.
1,000 years to hold a grudge.
Yep.
Ugh.
Yep.
We get her here, she apologizes, and we try to move forward together. Can that be understood?
Well, I'll rescind my orders to knock over a few countries.
You know what? Good enough.
Oh, I am looking forward to seeing a haughty elf bitch queen humble herself.
Just try not to be too much of a dick about it.
Oh no, I am going to be rock hard the entire time.
There's only so much that can be done.
He just gives you a toothy smile with a big vampire fang showing.
Alright. What about the
So-
whole end of civilization thing? Can we at least ask for some help on that if we secure the apology?
We
Sure.
have to figure out how to stop. Yeah.
Alright. That would be a great first step for Lord Winter to help protect civilizations, for you to buy some goodwill with people and maybe start helping bring about positive change. Remember that any goodwill for you is also goodwill for demons. And if they're as actually as misunderstood and kind as people as you say, then they'll need all that they can get so that it can help integrate into the world at large.
They are misunderstood.
Now
They
that
always
will
have
be the
been.
day. For them.
You know,
For them,
I've
I'm
thought
willing to
upon
take
a
the
random-
risk.
Yeah. Say, have you ever wanted to see the chair that started the apocalypse?
He
Well, at this point, it
squints
can't
at
hurt
you for a
anymore.
moment.
I can take us there. Takes 15 minutes to get there.
But if we do that, then
I
how
mean,
we
we've got to
can-
do some teleporting anyway. My mother isn't
actually,
exactly
I
close.
wanna-
No.
No. That's a good
no,
point.
not right now. Okay.
Okay.
How
Later.
we getting there is one thing. Getting back here is another thing, and that's
The
a very
airship
long
is
distance.
still in
Oh yeah,
dock.
shit. Yeah, we did kind of leave
Remember?
our car parked. We can't
We
leave
can't-
that behind and take a taxi.
And even though a lot of people
Can you
prob-
imagine the tickets we'd get if we
We'd
just
get
left it
so
here?
many. Yeah, you're right. We can't leave that in dock. That's not a cool move.
And even
No.
though people probably wouldn't recognize him, it's not really a good idea to be walking out in public with Lord Winter.
Huh? I mean, it wouldn't be public. It's you know how it gets. No, anyway, tell you what. Once this is all sorted up, if you would ever like to see the chair and the fancy runes within which they're based, let me know. It's the easiest thing ever to go see it.
I mean, Fuck, maybe we can decipher some of that shit and figure out what the hell's actually going on and how to turn it off.
Well, I mean, hopefully we'll do that when we get to see the amazing ancient city of magic, the floating in the skies.
Winter sort of cranes his head towards you.
Innocent tail wag.
All right. I think
I
we
told
have
you, I had a really good lead on this stopping the end of the world thing.
I think we have our mission set out for us, and I don't think we have a lot of time to waste. If we can leave and start trying to convince the elf to apologize for her past misdeeds, we can start bringing about positive change. But I also want something from you, Lord Winter.
Oh boy.
You're already asking a lot.
I know. But I also want to... If she's going to apologize for her misdeeds, then even if you're not gracious or totally sincere, you have to at least apologize for genociding her entire race. Admit that
No.
It was worth a try, Zanza. I appreciate it.
Look, humans were a little accident. Elves, not sorry a bit.
Surely they couldn't have been that bad.
No, they were pretty much the worst.
It's the best we're getting, Zanza. I've already come to terms with this.
All right. Elven Queen apologizes when we help save the world.
No one to fold him, that kid.
You fancy some mutton before we leave? No.
So, can we stay for just a little bit? Also,
you're welcome to stay here as long as you will like, Merisiel. That's the reason I brought you here in the first place.
Yeah. So, I did come here for another reason, and I would be very remiss.
Yes, go see your mother.
Thank you. Also, I kind of want to bring her home.
She is the one who decided to stay here. You can do whatever you want.
Alright.
If you all get killed by the giants out there, I'm going to laugh, and Taeleer is going to be very unhappy.
Yeah. Oh. You know what? This would be a good time to possibly... You know what? You see a lot of things. You watch a lot of stuff.
Uh-huh.
I don't suppose you know why some souls are going missing.
Oh, right, that.
Maybe. What's it to you?
Well, frankly, one of them is one of my siblings. So I kind of want to know what the fuck happened to my sister.
Oh. Well, that's right.
My squint intensifies.
Well, I guess Taeleer would like to know.
She would. She's been terribly worried the entire time. She's been
the new god of
herself.
death, Tyria, has been picking them up.
Uh-huh.
Don't know what she's doing with them. But they're being put to use. I wouldn't worry about it.
Being put to use? That sounds bad. That sounds terribly ominous.
What about the necromancer cult? You have any connection to that?
What a
Look,
really?
Alright, look.
Sure.
I necromanced a little bit once. I don't have any apprentices. I don't care. I didn't make this fucker.
But do you know of him? What he wants? What he's trying to do?
I imagine he's trying to kill all living things. Maybe he's working for the giants. Or maybe he's insane. I don't know.
Then, I have a question. Do you happen to know where he is?
Come here, Oscar.
No, I don't. I could probably find out, but frankly, I don't want to.
Oh,
Alright.
okay.
Fair enough.
No, and she holds out the helmet. It's a really nice helmet. It helps keep you, well, it's positive thinking.
Could use more of that in his life.
What?
Yes. It's not cursed or anything. It's a magical helmet of positive thinking.
Okay, Winter takes the helmet from you and sort of looks at it, turns it around in his hands, and whispers a few magic words of identification, and sort of looks at you for a moment. This doesn't do anything. It just... And he leans his ear in next to it. It talks like an idiot. That's kind of funny.
Why don't you put it on and see?
It sounds like a trap, so no, not until you're gone. But maybe later.
All right.
Maybe later
Okay.
for
Sounds
funsies, shits and giggles.
It takes
That's
about
basically my reason
well-
for existing at this point, so sure, why not?
Awesome.
she
I love when we
bows
meet him
to
again and
Lord
he's
Winter.
mellowed out.
Is that what we
Oh,
really need?
thank you.
Baki discovered cocaine. Do we just need to discover weed and give it to
Oh
Lord?
no, I mean
Okay.
that's actually currently what Kreshia and the Queen of the Demons are currently smoking while this conversation's been going now for like the past 20 minutes.
Okay.
Just also
They're
point
actually
out-
busily getting high.
Well,
Let me
whatever.
also point out that right here somewhere in the shadows, there is the drug lord herself.
Yeah, I know. I can see her.
Shit, really? Oh.
Yeah, Baki
Yeah.
and Celadri are here, and Sig 3.0 or whatever.
All right.
Yeah, they're all the same anyway.
Brutal.
Oh, it's harsh. No, there's
Am I
old
wrong,
lady
though?
back in the back, right? In the background.
Aha.
So yeah, if you guys want to go mingle with your Sav&D 2 characters, you can. I'm not going to roleplay your characters. That would be awful and awkward.
Okay. Well, I
Okay.
would like. Okay, I would like. Can you? She's been standing right here.
Yes, your mother has overheard everything.
What does she think?
You know,
About
sweetie,
our-
for a moment
about
I
our
was very
plotting.
worried that you were going to start another Nazi thing.
That is not what she sounds like.
Oh boy! Sorry.
No, after
They
having
can't-
20 years of being cowgirl, you see, she sounds like this just a little bit. No.
You can't make every mother
Proud of her little babushkas, of
Exactly.
course.
No.
make every mother a Jewish mother.
But yeah, you can go talk to Queen Skeza if you like. What does she think of, like, redeeming Winter? Obviously, that's what she came here to do in the first place. Well, one of the things she came here to do. So yeah, the fact that you made more progress than she, the goddess of redemption, and all of their friends could ever make is certainly impressive. Though she's definitely worried that Queen Karista Belmariss is just going to get obliterated by magic. Or worse.
Out of character. That's not really a big loss,
Hey!
and that's a good
Hey,
trade.
that's my
and
mom.
that's a good trade-off.
It is a good trade-off, but Kreshia would never feel that way. That's her mum and she loves her.
Yeah.
Yeah,
but
that is
she's
literally
sort of
Crush's
fucking-
mother.
Yeah, but she's sort of fucking earned that obliteration.
I mean... Look, if she'd successfully killed Lord Winter, it would have been great.
Yeah, but she
Nobody would have
didn't.
complained.
Okay, so since my mouth has already gotten away from me before, I want to say this out of character before I pitch this idea. So I can obviously be shot down. So the problem with Lord Winter, besides the fact that he's a massive cunt, is that he keeps getting betrayed, right? And this is obviously another case where he's putting himself out there and could possibly be betrayed. So is this the part where Zanza recommends becoming a knight to help make sure that he doesn't get backstabbed this time in the part of the
He
deal?
literally is a knight.
He used to be a paladin.
No, I meant Zanza.
Yeah.
Oh.
Does Zanza become?
Wait, do you want Lord Winter to knight you?
Does
I
Zanza
think he
become-
might actually do that for shits and giggles.
Does Zanza become some weird, self-hating Knight of Winter just to make sure he doesn't go AWOL?
Sure thing,
when he
Mr.
gets
Dresden.
Fucking. Oh my god! Oh my god!
Yeah, pretty much.
Boom.
It's nothing but that all the way down.
Oh, damn it! Oh, fuck, I'm so glad I decided to say this out loud before I went with it.
Oh my god. Oh dear.
Does Zanza become a reluctant knight to make sure that the deal is actually kept this time and that there's no betrayal?
I think you just want to be a knight, don't you?
I mean, yes, but also prevent backstabbings, since this is in part a lot of Zanza's idea at this point.
It's up to you.
Looking at you, Adj, you've been the voice of reason so far.
I mean, I think that would be kind of an interesting position for you to go in, but it's going to undercut your position with the Inquisition to the point where they may turn against you and want to string you up and kill you.
This is not untrue.
This is not untrue. Oh
You
man,
did
the Fox
kind of start a really big Foxby Inquisition. So if you go around saying, "Oh yeah, no, I'm the Knight of Lord Winter,"
Oh no, Zanza's not gonna. Zanza's definitely not gonna be going around flaunting that. He is still has allegiance to Seek, but he wants to be some kind of mediator to make sure that this fucking deal does not go south.
to be honest, I don't know if the Foxbees are going to see it that way.
Yeah, which is why
There's no way the Foxbees are going to see it that way.
Oh man, trying to even explain this to the Foxbees.
There wouldn't be an explaining process. There would just be the fucking smite evil process.
Yeah,
I
so
feel like they should just not be involved in the Lord Winter equation of the end of the world, and more the other part.
There doesn't need to be a knighting process or even make it official. Zanza just needs to be like, okay, I gotta pay attention to make sure Lord Winter doesn't throw a hissy fit.
if there's any kind of ceremony, or he says, yes, you're my envoy or emissary or diplomat or anything, it's an Inquisition. They're probably going to find out. So I think it'd be cool for a cool direction for Zanza's arc if you went off and became the Knight of Winter in the wide world, and you tried to show him through your example that he can participate without dominating or do good without being backstabbed. That would be pretty sweet, but you did set up this whole Inquisition, so basically choose one, because the other one's not going to work.
Mm.
You can't be both.
Do I want to help try to actually make a big change, or do I want to wipe out the necromancy plague?
If you want to go with the whole concept of gesture size as well, that Foxby Inquisition is a constantly active grand gesture, and that doesn't mix well. Anyway,
I mean, the Foxby Inquisition is to try to take out that necromantic cult who's trying to destroy the world. So, yeah, ultimately, yeah.
Yeah, I don't think that you're in a position where you're able to do that, because the world is now not set up for that crossover. Sadly,
No.
You can't score that Lord Winter comic book deal while you're still tied down to the Foxby advertising company.
Oh man, I gotta think about this. I'll come back to this later. Ultimately, I think Zanza's still going to try to make sure that the deal does not go sour and end up with another backstab. Because eventually, he's just going to try at this point. I don't know what we're going to do directly, but it's going to
No. Not that you're, but how?
I think
Winter's gonna be here. He can command to fucking space and fucking time.
Well, I was under the assumption that we were going to certainly be here when we escort the elf back for the apology to make sure shit doesn't go south either way. Because, there's still the possibility that Lord Mincer might
The
be
elf?
like,
You mean my
the elf,
mum? I'm not gonna let her do this alone.
Yeah, there's still the possibility that Lord Winter goes, aha, betrayal, and we don't want that to happen either way. Or the Elf Queen goes like, aha, extra betrayal. So we gotta make sure they both play nice and actually be civil. At this point, it's still a full-time job between diplomacy. And then if there actually becomes a grand gesture where fucking Lord Winter has to fight again, we make sure that he doesn't get stabbed in the back again when he gets fire blasted or something. For the third
probably
time.
have her sitting in a anti-magic zone, so she can't cast any spells at all, or have use any magic items.
Her invisible entourage.
Either way, we've kind of created a lot of more work for ourselves.
Yeah, well, that's what heroes.
Yes.
That's what heroes do.
Wow,
Nothing
that happened this session happened the way I expected it even
the
might.
reward for good work is more
Let
work.
me still just reiterate the fucking comment that I keep telling. We are the world's most powerful retards.
No, we're not. I don't like that. I don't like you saying that. We're not retarded. That's not how things. It's just things just don't go the way we plan them to.
Excuse me, what the fuck just happened in this session?
I wouldn't call
Excuse you,
that
dog.
being retarded.
I mean, you almost were retarded and created the fucking Nazi Fourth Reich, but
I mean,
almost.
Okay,
that
out of
would have been
character.
retarded.
At this point, with
Look,
that,
life is just skirting retarded decisions and coming out on top. That's just
It
existence.
seemed
I'm
like a
afraid.
good idea at the time. They said.
Okay, out of
and
character,
the demons-
with
I will also
raise their
say,
flags.
just as a side note, fucking Vampire Fourth Reich would have been really fun, but also, what the shit, guys?
out of character,
How did that
out of
almost
character,
happen?
With how much the world
Oops.
spiraled into chaos, would that really have been so bad?
I mean, like, yeah, the choice is the apocalypse or the Nazis win. I'm not sure there's a good side to this. Like,
Basically,
maybe the rapture's what we deserve at that point.
we probably would have had to have cut to 74, but the setting for 74 would be quite different, because it would be okay, now you have to fight against all the vampire armies that rule over the entire world.
Yep.
I mean, then you can just steal half of Curse of Strahd, right?
Yeah, then 74 is literally just running Curse of Strahd.
I mean, that's also maybe in the
Damn you,
in the perfect
Strahd.
optimist world, he actually does become a benevolent ruler, and you play the vampire SS trying to stop evil. Silence.
As Adj wrote, the Helsing organization.
Yeah.
Our entire party goes on enthusiastic walks for an entire campaign.
Lord Winter stays a benevolent ruler, and we just gotta make sure it keeps that way.
Yeah. You guys aren't actually like playing as the field agents there. You are Integra in this operation. You are just trying to keep the vampire from destroying everything instead of, just his target. That could be fun. But anyway. So yeah. Is there anything else you guys? I'll
That's a
get
high
to
note.
Kresh's conversation in a moment. Mary, is there anything else you wanted to ask Skeza?
I'm gonna put my hands on her shoulders and just like stare into her, just stare, and then lean in like, you are coming home for the love of Mom. You are coming home. I will grab
Nice.
you by the ears and drag you out of here if I have to. You are coming home.
Yeah,
Mom, what
so
the fuck?
I think Skeza will take the opportunity to explain why she's here still. And that is because most of her adventuring companions who weren't killed were very, very badly wounded, and the only way she could confirm that they wouldn't get, vampired is by staying here and being, Winter's hostage. Now that they're mostly better, perhaps they could all leave, now that you have somehow convinced Winter not to be a total prick.
We have a nice big airship. We can fit all of them in.
Hurt?
Also, we have a doctor.
We can even stop over at McDonald's.
All right, Sam,
Prognosis.
can we end this session here before I fuck up something almost again?
Yeah, I am okay with ending the session
Can
here.
I ask Lord Winter one question?
Sure.
Does he have any sons, or is it just all daughters all day? And why is that?
Or importantly, are they both?
Or
Interested
Look.
parties need to know.
that's a good question.
He will tell you that succubi and incubi are the same thing, and they just all like being hot women. That's not he's not gonna judge.
I mean, all right, fine, sure. Whatever.
She will toast with her chalice. Amen.
All right.
The final things
Gotcha.
Zanza will actually do is that he will try to strike a conversation about the history of people. Because maybe if he can learn where Winter fucked up or where everybody else made mistakes, it can help things go better this time.
Sure,
Holy
so
shit.
everyone fucked up about the time that they saw a demon and said, you know what, we're just going to murder her instead of letting August here explain why it's not okay to murder her.
In mechanics terms, can
Is that
we
actually-
just say that a dialogue is set up and next time a history check comes up related to this stuff, Zanza can get advantage?
Sure.
Zanza wants to learn about the history of fuck-ups that has been civilizations. It's time to get an education on how to
Time to learn about history is fuck-ups, which is generally what all education in history is, actually.
Let me just
Don't invade Russia.
just also
There you
let me
go.
just point out another thing that it's not gonna work because A, it's not names for his siblings, and B, it's not fighting. It's not justice.
I didn't
Sorry.
say it was going to
They
be...
fighting with justice.
Yeah, that's why he's getting a one-time advantage instead of just training in the history skill. Because after that, he gets a letter full of like 30 new sibling names and just boop.
Just gets it like nuked out. It was really nice knowing how that treaty that treaties on peace and the salt mines worked out. But oh no, someone's had another litter.
You know,
I
I
didn't
was
need that
really close to
information.
learning and figuring out how to bring about civilization to a new age of utopia, but Abigail was just born, and I really need to remember.
Oh my god. Alright. So yeah, I guess we'll pick up here. This has been a session-long conversation, effectively. Good job, everybody.
There's a
could
Frida
use
that's
Everybody can
running
have
around.
inspiration, for sure. Go ahead and...
Can we get double inspiration?
No, you can't have double
So
inspiration.
inspired.
Also, what is Frida doing dancing around the queen?
Presumably dancing around the queen.
Yeah, being
No,
happy.
she
Goats and
heard that there was hurt people.
Oh,
she doesn't
wants
know,
to.
so she
Frida wants to Frida.
She wants to goat.
Yeah, so Frida is tending the wounds of mostly Sig here, but also some of the bodyguards who didn't get murked.
Show me the goat of your people.
yay.
Alright, let me scroll down here. This has been session 48. It is the 15th, or actually 16th of May now. Boy. So, did you guys explore a new interesting location? Yes.
Yes.
Did you discover new interesting truth about the world?
Too many to list.
Well, you gotta give me
Give it
one.
a go. All right, giants are the harbingers of the end times.
Demons are apparently not not assholes.
Kreshia always believed that, but whatever.
We didn't know that for a fact.
You still don't. But
We still technically
don't.
don't, but Kreshia. This was Kreshia's tenure back at college.
But ultimately, this is the way that has to be. We have to like go meet the demon race and do studies and see how their people live and figure
ultimately,
out how...
I think like having a sit-down, like full role-playing scene with the Demon Queen would be a real good way to like get that to be a thing. But anyway, you definitely have learned a bunch of stuff, so we'll give you one for that. Did you make a new ally or lasting enemy? I think the entire point of this session was doing neither, so...
Yeah.
Did you advance or complete a quest? Obviously.
Yes.
Did you neutralize a direct threat to the Queen's peace?
Gotta fucking believe it.
Yes.
I
So...
would say at least for now.
Yeah. 4 XP, everybody. And again, everyone has inspiration.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
The lasting enemy one technically is not a scoreable experience because we basically wanted to make sure that neither of those things happened.
Correct.
Oh, okay.
All right. I'll at least say
So,
thank you, Adge, for keeping me from starting the Nazi Third Reich, even though that would have been of the
Rules
vampire.
of nature.
It would have been a very cool setting, but you're right. Tone it down. Enter in
Hey.
subtly and slowly.
I might have to make some kind of Metal Gear
Hey.
PMC one shot sometime in the future.
ECL,
Yes.
do you remember back when I joked about Zanza when you started to have the idea for the Fox being position
Well,
last year?
it almost happened again. So
Yeah,
I love you guys.
remember when
I am
stated-
glad I have this particular group of people to make amazing, possibly horrible decisions all of the time. This is a lot of fun, and for those of you watching, I hope you enjoyed as much as I did.
I'm almost
take care.
I am almost sad that Adjatha was there to talk me out of it.